It's an early taste of summer here at Laney College in Oakland, and as we reach the midpoint of the 2017 AUDL season, the competition is heating up as well. The San Francisco Flamethrowers welcome the Vancouver Riptide to town. Stephen Davies alongside Matt Ruby and Joaquin Wallace here on a Sunday afternoon in Oakland, and we are ready for week number 7 for the San Francisco Flamethrowers as they come into this game with a 4-2 record. As we say good afternoon to Rubes. Last time we saw the Flamethrowers here 8 days ago, Rubes, it was a heartbreaking loss to say the least, as the Cascades leave town with a 28-27 victory. And for the Flamethrowers today, Matt, only dressing 16 players.
It's true, but the Riptide are only dressing 18, and they are going to be dealing with the uphill climb associated with a very, very, very close loss last night, another heartbreaking loss of their own. They lost by a thin goal, 19-18, against the San Jose Spiders. So they're expected to, be playing in less than 24 hours after traveling from Canada down to the U.S. I think fatigue is going to definitely play a role for both teams, for the Flamethrowers because they're only dressing 16, as you mentioned, for the Riptide because they are on the road, second part of a back-to-back, and also it's pretty hot out there today, real hot.
It is for Oakland for this time of year. It is especially warmer than usual.
Yeah, I was out yesterday in Fremont, which is a town that's south and a little bit east of here for a hike, and it was into the 90s. So it's very kind of a heat wave that's rolled through here for the past couple days. It's expected to go through midweek, but this is going to be the first time we've seen these guys playing in the, the broad, beating, bright midday sun, and that heat is definitely going to take effect. I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing guys coming out with a little cramping, some calf cramps as the game progresses, so we can keep an eye on that.
Were you up at Mission Peaks, Rubes, yesterday?
No, I went to Little Yosemite.
Oh, yeah, okay. Very nice. There, yeah. Absolutely. So let's give you the starting lineups then for both teams. Beginning with the visiting Vancouver Riptide, their starting 7 will be as follows, as they will be out on defense to start today's game. They are in the white and blue uniforms. Number 2, Peter Galbraith. Number 3, Alistair Robb. Number 4, Ari Natikman. Number 5, Ty Barbieri. Number 6, Braden G. Number 8, Morgan Hibbert. And number 13, Greg Moore complete the starting 7. For the San Francisco Flamethrowers, coached by Yo Kawaoka, his starting 7 on offense are as follows. Number 6, Joel Schlackett. Number 9, Cassidy Rasmussen. Number 14, Justin Lim. Number 22, Marcelo Sanchez. Number 23, Antoine Davis. Number 26, Grant Lindsley. And back for the Flamethrowers this afternoon, number 32, Sam Canna.
The matchup to watch here is going to be the one we're seeing right here. It's number 8.
Morgan Hibbert.
Morgan Hibbert on Rasmussen, number 9. Hibbert is a well-known, highly respected player from Vancouver, kind of a defensive specialist. He's real tall. He's about 6'3". He is a stalwart for the Canadian national teams, and he comes out defending Rasmussen, who's maybe 5'10". So there's going to be a bit of a height mismatch there, but that's going to be a tough assignment for Hibbert, and it's also going to be a tough job for Rasmussen to get open on him.
So Joel Schlackett to Justin Lim for the opener, and the Flamethrowers have the lead. Not exactly time to start ringing the alarm bells if you're Coach Kawaoka, Rubes, but a 4-2 record, perhaps not what the Flamethrowers had in mind as they reached the midpoint of this 2017 season.
I think coming into the season, we all anticipated that they were the odds-on favorite to come out of the West. I don't think anybody guessed that the Spiders would be as good as they have been up till now. And I think expectations were also, I'm not going to say low, but maybe unanticipated that the Cascades were going to be as good as they are as well because of that big loss of sockeye talent. And the Spiders last year, I mean, what a turnaround. They were just a lower end, middle of the pack kind of team with a couple of individuals who really stood out. But now they've turned it around and playing an incredible team game.
We'll talk more about the Riptide and the game against the Spiders last night as this broadcast progresses. But it is hot. It is a beautiful afternoon, though, and it is an early taste of summer here in the San Francisco Bay Area. This is Kevin Law in possession. He's wearing number 29. And he'll swing this over to number 98, Brendan Wong.
Brendan Wong is a goal-scoring machine. If there's anybody I think whose name we're going to be calling on the receiving end of goals, it's going to be Brendan.
So Vancouver looking to tie this up at a goal apiece. Inches short of the line here, the Riptide.
On the doorstep, a nice crossfield swing. Oh, just enough.
Just enough for the opening goal for the Riptide. and it is scored by Peter Galbraith. So a goal apiece here inside the opening quarter here at Laney College.
Vancouver looked like they're pretty comfortable keeping it on the trap side. That they really kind of just jammed it down that sideline. Then once they actually break it, it opens up for an around back. And this is pretty close. This is decent position. Ooh, very close from Thompson. Almost got in there.
Sawyer Thompson mighty close to making the interception, but it's Galbraith's goal that ties this up. And we talked about it a little bit in the last broadcast, Rubes, right at the end, actually. We were wondering about how Bo Kittredge didn't feature in the second half against the Cascades. Turns out he has a back injury
yeah.
and could be out for a number of weeks.
So Flamethrowers are missing Kittredge. They're also missing Mac Taylor today. Eli Kearns. A bunch of players have commitments to the U.S. Overthrow. To the U.S. Beach team, which is going to be playing at Beach Worlds. Oh, that's a nice throw.
It's a great throw. Can the Riptide capitalize? Making a great leap and making the catch. Was number 23. I'll have to... Might be William Vu, I guess.
Vu,
excuse me, yes.
Vu. That was a very nice inside-out forehand. The person that threw that looked like he was left-handed. Judging from the release point on that thing, it's going to be a low... Yep, he's a lefty. Really low release point. He kind of bends that around both players, puts it up on a shelf, and Vu Goetsen gets it. Great throw. I'm
going to wait to be sure that we have the right player identified on our roster here, so we'll come back to that. I can tell you, though, that Vancouver do have a 2-1 lead as Lindsley was unable to come up with the catch, and the Riptide capitalized on the error to lead this game 2-1.
Kind of a quick, little overthrow to Lindsley, who was open across the middle of the field.
So, based on your expertise of the Laney College wind patterns, Matt, what are you seeing so far?
I think it's really still out there right now. Much calmer than it's been on past evenings we've been here. Nice inside-out break.
So the Flamethrowers looking to tie this up at 2 apiece.
There's Canner.
Welcoming Sam back. It was in Minnesota last week.
Yeah, all the Carleton boys are back. Lindsley, Bayless, and Canner for the Flamethrowers are all Carleton alumni. There's Bayless right there.
Defended by Braden G.
Get it off. Ooh, very nice backdoor. Kind of like a backdoor cut in a tight space.
Davis wants it on the other side of the field. Canner surveys the scene. Now,
throws
across. And that was well read by the Riptide.
Definitely well read by number 50. Nectar.
A big piece of the puzzle, though, for the Flamethrowers not here today is Lucas Dahlman.
Oh, gosh, yeah, I didn't even realize that, but you're right. Cox isn't here, Dahlman. This is something that Coach Kaokos have to deal with all season, is this kind of a revolving door of players. He doesn't really know who he's going to have from week to week, and it's got to be kind of frustrating.
We saw how versatile this Flamethrowers team, though, was in that game against the Growlers, where they had a very similar situation, Rubes, on the doorstep here, and a goal for Joel Schlackett. Schlackett with 5 goals against the Cascades, now tied for second overall on goals with his 15th of the season, and it's 2-2.
A little sloppy to start out for both teams here. That was a crossfield pass that was attempted to Davis. They got D'd. And then just an overthrow over the Vancouver receiver's hands that results in a Flamethrower goal. I'm going to, as this game progresses, I mean, you look at these guys, look how young all these Riptide guys are.
They look like the seniors in high school.
Number 40 there, Dylan, yeah, if he's shaving, I'd be surprised. But I think that the makeup of this Riptide team is a couple of veteran guys, Brendan Wong and Hibbert are the sort of really well-established old-timers, and a pack of, under 24 guys, young guys that want to run around a lot.
Well, one of the beneficiaries was for the Riptide was when the Major League Ultimate team, the Nighthawks, folded, and so they were able to absolve a lot of the plays into the team.
I think that the talent suck had sort of started the year previous, and that the Riptide had sort of drawn the bulk of the sort of the higher-end club talent, but the Nighthawks definitely served as sort of a proving ground and a training ground for a lot of these guys. Barbieri, who I believe has the disc right there, he was on the Nighthawks last season.
Barbieri leading the team with goals scored this season, and that's nicely done by the Riptide as they retake the lead 3-2. And that was our man Dylan with the goal.
There's that little lefty from number 25. I believe that's Vu. He's clearly left-handed. That's a little kind of an interesting low-release lefty inside-out backhand that he throws to a spot. Left-handers can throw things, can throw markers off pretty quick because you're sort of anticipating that person to step on their other foot. You expect everybody to be right-handed. Not everybody is.
So we're still trying to determine who number 23 is for Vancouver. So as soon as we have an opportunity to tap into the brain trust inside the Laney College press box, we will do that. In the meantime, the visitors from Canada with the lead 3-2.
Coming down man.
Hustling that into space is Marcelo Sanchez.
Well defended by number 6.
Yes, indeed. That was Braden G.
Ooh, there's Antoine Davis.
Great throw from Lindsley.
Ooh,
Look at that.
Just gets over the defender.
Threading it between two defenders, caught by Davis. Here's Cannon now with Schlacken to his right. Davis makes a cut up field.
Canner's got 2 turnovers already, so you see how careful he's being here.
Justin Lim made a run downfield as
ooh,
well.
Wow.
And Schlacken with his second goal of the half.
Not uncomfortable with throwing into very tight windows between our Schlacken and Canner. Those are 2 very, very small windows that were rapidly closing if they get the disc through in time.
Especially that second defender for the Riptide came mighty close. Taking that away, but it's 3-3.
That goal is all set up by Antoine Davis, number 23, who beats his own man and somebody else deep. Lindsley's throw just sort of sneaks over the defender's hand, but Davis was very, very, very open.
We haven't had a chance to go over the West standings as San Jose, now with the victory last night, improved to 7-1. Who would have thought that?
That's incredible.
At the beginning of the season. Seattle are 4-1. They're actually off until the 4th of June. That game they played against the Flamethrowers was their final action for 3 weeks of the season.
Wow.
However, they'll play 3 games in 6 days.
Oh, my gosh.
San Francisco will have a record of 4-2. LA at 3-2. They're off to the 27th, as are the Growlers, who are 1-5, and then the Riptide bringing up the rear at 1-8.
Flamethrowers are playing a little zone here of some sort. This is not straight man. It's kind of maybe like a sort of a 2-man marking wall or something of that nature. We're probably going to go to man here in a second.
Levi Jeski's open downfield, and he just about holds on for the catch to make it 4-3 Riptide.
Well, whatever that was, not terribly effective. Riptide did a good job of diagnosing it and figuring out how to beat it. Usually you're going to score easily on a team that's playing a junk or a zone defense, particularly in the transition. If the transition from zone to man isn't clean and well organized, it's going to leave people open downfield, and that's, I think, what just happened right there.
So the team's trading goals, and the Riptide, considering their last place currently in the West Division, have not come out, it appears, willing to lie down in this game so far.
Well, the Riptide's one win so far was against San Diego, and they won that game in overtime.
Yes, they did.
So they have lost. They lost by 1 last night. They won by 1 in San Diego. So they could easily be 3-5 right now, as opposed to 1-8.
Such are the margins in the AUDL.
Yep. Oh, big floater. Wow, lot of defenders. Nice catch.
Sanchez is able to reach up between 2 defenders and reel it in. Waits for reinforcements to arrive. Here's Justin Lim now to Canna. Sanchez back to the center. Lim makes a cut.
Nice dump. Ooh, a round break.
Great throw from Rasmussen to Schlacken. He's already on a hat trick here in the first period of play. 7:13 to go first quarter of play. It's 4-4.
No small feat to throw in a round break when Morgan Hibbert is your marker. Really tall, super long arms, super long legs. Has made his bones in ultimate playing defense and being a good marker. So I think Hibbert probably got sort of stuck betwixt and between because he saw Canner, who just dumped the disc, sort of work his way to the middle of the field, and maybe he was anticipating a throw to the middle of the field, and being a very aggressive marker as he is, he was going to go to take that away, which opens up the around backhand for the goal.
So Fred Lamb is actually listed on the website as wearing number 23, so we'll go with that. So Fred Lamb,
there's a 23 and a 25.
Scorer.
No wonder.
Yeah.
That would explain our
so
confusion.
William Vu is 25.
Okay.
Fred Lamb's
William
23.
Vu is the lefty. Anytime you see somebody throwing left-handed, it's Ben Vu. Back into this sort of, no, this is man, this is person. Peterson was playing off of this person wide enough that it looked like a zone for a second.
Here's Alistair Robb.
Oof, that's going to work.
That was a bit of luck for the Riptide there as it deflects off.
Someone is super open deep right now. Gavol is giving up a lot of room downfield. There's Barbieri.
There's Jordan Dillon.
Makes a cut down line. Doesn't get it. Ooh, nice inside out break.
A spinning catch there made in the air, and the easiest of goals there for Ty Barbieri. So Barbieri makes it 5-4. 5 different scores now for Vancouver on the day.
Barbieri is also one of these young guys who have made the leap. He played, like I said, last season for the Nighthawks. I had a chance to watch him against the Dogfish in a couple games, and I was definitely impressed. I'm pretty sure he's a member of the Canada's under-24 team, at least he was last season. So definitely paying positive dividends for the Riptide here. I've seen a couple of highlight packages from him this season, just going bananas for this team. So Barbieri's a good pickup for them.
Barbieri leading goal scorer for the Riptide by some margin. That was his 21st goal of the season. Brendan Wong, the second leading scorer with 13.
I'm not surprised by that.
So the Flamethrowers trailing by a goal here. And it's Grant Lindsley being hounded here by Fred Lamb.
That's a great throw. Lamb is wide open underneath.
Schlackett surveys.
Lindsley's still sort of playing the role that we've seen when the first game of the season, where he's the third man in the string, generally going to be ISO'd third cutter off of the oh boy, nice catch.
Great catch there by Sanchez, having to make the adjustment.
Nice inside out break.
Rasmussen,
through the wickets.
Just a little low there for Joel Schlackett. It would have been his 4th goal of this first quarter, but throw just a little low there from Cassidy Rasmussen.
Sort of like an on-time rhythm throw from Rasmussen, too, there. You think that's money in the bank.
And he didn't feel like he had to rush that throw
He's just
here.
boom, 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 gets settled. Yep, just a little too low. Ooh, big bomb here.
Antoine Davis goes after it, and he swats it away. No chance there for Fred Lamb. And Antoine Davis, Rubes, not the player you want to put.
Not
the player you want to face in a one-on-one
head
duel.
to head now. Especially, he's quite a bit taller than the person that he's defending. And thank you very much. Almost puts a hand on his shoulder there. Easy swing. Gotta get it off the sideline here. They've been stuck on the forced sideline. There we are. Now it's off. Oh, Canada looks off inside out, cross field.
Now Davis, there's a great throw.
Nice throw. Lindsay's gonna read it.
And well defended by Vancouver.
Really well defended.
How about
Great
that?
D.
Totally Vizliev.
Vizliev does not give up on that and comes over to swat it away.
Dangerous throw there. It works out for the Riptide. Here's Ted Chu. He's wearing 61.
Ooh, somebody's super open deep. They managed to switch. Flamethrower switched to prevent the deep shot.
That was Trevor Connected.
Yeah, he was super open.
Nectic, excuse me.
Ooh, inside out. Nice throw. Just enough. Oh!
Just too high there and out of the reach of Chu.
Yeah, Chu could have kept running under that if he'd realized. I think he's coming. You often will come under those plays if you think that the defender's going to have a shot at it because you're going to play the tip or something like that. So if the disc gets tipped, you want to be there to be able to make a play on it. Otherwise, you sort of have to make a split-second decision there, and I guess the right decision there would have been to keep running.
So stole possessions back-to-back for each team, and the Flamethrowers trailing by a goal here with under 4 minutes remaining in the first quarter play.
Sanchez puts his head down.
Here goes Sanchez. Can he catch up? It's Sanchez all the way, and he makes the easy catch for the score. Marcelo Sanchez, the third different scorer now for the Flamethrowers as they tie this up at 5 apiece.
Yeah, you can really see that you can see that develop, right? He's got a step or two on his man, and when someone puts their head down like that and really starts chugging, as a thrower, you know that man is going deep. He is not going to be planting and coming back underneath.
He's looked full of energy so far in this opening quarter of play.
Nice sky over a crowd earlier. Yeah, that's what they're going to need. In games like this, you have to have 3 or 4 guys on your team, on your O team, who are just going to be willing to grind and grind and grind and grind and grind. When you have a small group, you have high temperatures. It's tiring, it's exhausting, and it's great to have a handful of guys on your team that have that mental toughness just to keep working. And what I've seen of Sanchez so far, I think he might be one of those guys.
Based on the statistics, Rubes, I think I'd have to agree with you there. Total number of points played, he leads the team with 164. Total minutes played, 167. Clearly ahead of Lucas Dahlman, and also leads the team in goals. So he's certainly being a player that Coach Karaoke can rely on in this topsy-turvy 2017 season.
Oh, wow. big gainer.
5-5 the score, and the Riptide on the move into the attacking half of the field now.
Brendan Wong is still pretty much uncovered on the far side of the field. Now they swing it to him. It's interesting on this team that he has been put in a handler position, probably because he's among the more experienced players on this team. For the other teams that he's played for,
good catch.
Oh, great catch.
Diving one-handed grab.
There's our
there.
lefty again. Oh, no.
No continuation of greatness that time.
Yep.
See, I didn't even have to ask you this time.
Well
Rubes.
done. Conservation. Conservation of greatness.
I'm getting there. Just
It's a pretty good. It's a pretty good sports term. There's some good ones out there. Conservation of greatness is a good one.
I'll get it for next time.
There goes Bayless.
Here's Kirkland in possession of the disc, and for the Flamethrowers, Gavall makes a cut.
Bayless,
finds
nice
him.
cut underneath. So now the rest of the team has sort of worked their way to the point at which they can be available for the thrower. When the disc moves upfield with a tired offense, sometimes you just send one guy down there and everybody else takes him a while to get past.
Andrew Hagan exchanges passes. Hagan dives out but can't make the grab. Lovely bid there from Andrew Hagan, but just not to be. And you see the exchange of passes, and
just tries to go with the right hand. Has to get his feet right.
Dangerous throw there from the Riptide, but it pays off. So it's now William Vu in possession of the disc. Splits plays and a big mistake there. And now a chance for the Flamethrowers to capitalize, which they do with a fine catch. Diving was Vincenzo Vitiello for his first goal. And we now have 4 different scores on the day for the Flamethrowers.
It's a little bit of an awkward-looking catch. That's because he is getting ready to lay out. That throw is coming by pretty fast. So he's open here, and this is where he's like, see, he's just getting ready to have to spring, so he's getting ready for that layout, but he gets to it before he has to do it.
Cody Kirkland threads the disc between defenders, and Vitiello with the catch for the goal.
That previous turnover, I was going to mention that I think what you're starting to see is Vancouver's having issues getting the disc off the sideline, and that resulted in a turnover trying to throw in a very small window from the sideline. Vu's dump ran upfield, and he's trying to hit him in a really tiny window. So if Vancouver can't move the disc to the middle of the field and they're content to stay trapped on the sidelines, Flamethrowers defense will take that all day, and vice versa. If the team you're playing against is willing to just jam it up the fore side, you like your chances.
This pull from Cannon will hang up a little bit.
Nice one.
Fred Lamb has it. Now to Trevor connected. Vasiev.
Ooh, he had Hibbard, but Baylor stops it on the mark. Stops that inside out forehand.
Now Alex Davis, he's wearing 27 for the Riptide. Threads that through to connect.
Easy dumps.
It's Lamb.
There's Hibbard. Hibbard has interesting throws. He throws a lefty backhand and a righty backhand. See how he's got it in both grips there?
Yeah, well spotted.
He broke his arm. He broke his right arm a couple of years ago pretty badly, and he basically throws nothing but backhands now. So he's got a really unorthodox, unusual style of pivot, and his throw release points are very, very odd, and it looks different from what everybody else does out there.
Is there another player in the league?
Bayless.
Great.
No, there's nobody else. I've never seen anybody else do what he does. Sometimes you'll see people with 2 forehands, but 2 backhands is really unusual. And you'll see this. Ooh, wow.
That's off the leg
That's
there
a foul.
of Nectar. He'll give Bayless a high five, but it definitely took a deflection off the leg.
Yeah, he got cracked there for sure. So they're setting up here. Lamb clears space. Oop, they're whistling.
Under 30 seconds remaining in the half, by the way.
Oh, okay.
And
okay, good, well spotted.
Yeah.
They're going to reset the clock to 45 seconds.
So someone's a little off there, but the Flamethrowers have the lead and, more importantly, have the disc and the chance to, with a goal here, have the first 2-goal lead for any team in the game so far.
Lindsley takes his man out and under.
Oh, that's a nice throw.
That's gonna
Let's
flop.
stay up for
Hibbert's gonna eat
Canna.
it.
Davis comes out of nowhere to make the catch. Wow.
I thought Hibbard had that the whole way. How many times have we seen on this field where floating passes, it's the person behind the play that makes the play? Almost every single time we've seen that. Last weekend it was Greg Cohen on a big floating bomb with no time left, but Davis comes out of nowhere. He must have been Hibbard. Hibbard must have been defending. There's 2 men down here. Everyone's flat-footed except for that guy.
Wow.
Everybody is flat-footed. Davis gets to run up on it and time it and just roofs everybody. Good heavens.
That's going on Twitter.
That's going somewhere.
It's already on Twitter.
He should put that on his resume. He just rolls into job interviews and says, "Here, want to see this? Here's a picture of me putting my rear end on a 6'5" guy's shoulder."
That catch though by Cohen last week, that was something.
But we've seen Davis do it out here too. I mean, it's amazing. The guy. I mean, he made Revolver. Congratulations to him. And it's those sorts of plays that earned him a spot on that team. He's going to be sort of a work in progress in terms of turning into a more polished ultimate player, but the athleticism, it is definitely there. Ooh, that's a bad turn.
Yeah, this is starting to unravel a little bit for the Riptide here at the end.
Time is running down here. They could just kind of dink and dunk it here for about 15 seconds. Or Canner just runs wide open.
And a great catch there for
that
the
was not
score.
Canner, I'm sorry.
That was Sawyer Thompson. So the Flamethrowers are going to go into the half with 6 different scores as Sawyer adds his name to the list.
Wow.
And the Flamethrowers putting a little punishment on the Riptide here at the end of the first quarter.
But I mean, I wonder, so what I anticipated in this game is that the Riptide are going to come out hard and strong, and then it's going to start to taper. Because they've just got to be exhausted. They've just got to be really tired.
Well, I mean, we've talked about having back-to-back games, but that's with 24 or less than 24 hours. This is 16 hours.
Is it even that
games.
many? Yeah,
no,
because that game ended last night probably around, what, 9?
Yeah, 16 hours. If it ends at 9 o'clock,
and then you got to, like, change, and you get on the cars, and you have dinner, and then you get to the hotel,
Yep.
and you're sleeping in a strange bed. And I never, ever slept well on the first night of an Ultimate Tournament in a hotel. I was always just gassed the next day.
So we'll see if the Riptide here can make something happen before the end of the first quarter. They're certainly going to try their best. That's a great catch.
Flamethrowers are kind of sitting back here. Oh.
Fred Lamb will huck this forward, and just too long there and out of play. Jordan Dillon, the closest player in the vicinity for the Riptide, for 3 late goals. And the play of the day so far from Antoine Davis gives the Flamethrowers an 8-5 lead after 1 period here from Laney College.
So I don't know what they're going to be talking about on the sideline for Vancouver. It's really just a matter of let's just throw some completions. Let's get a little something going, get a little momentum going into this next quarter.
So I'd like to say thanks to our wonderful sponsors. And we'll start with our friends over at Scubalicious Ultimate, featuring in-depth player interviews, tips on how to improve your game, and the midweek Flamecast. It's available live on Facebook with reposts later on Twitter. 8-5 the score here, 1 quarter complete from Laney College on a toasty afternoon here in Oakland, and a little taste of summer as Peterson gets out the umbrella.
That umbrella over Peterson's head is not for rain.
No, it's not.
More of a parasol than an umbrella.
Thanks to our friends at Douglas Parking and Airpark. Park at the airport to know your car is safe, and then when you return, Douglas Parking, the best in local parking. Our friends at Waxy Supply. The cleanest score of the quarter was by Antoine Davis.
I'll say.
Brought to you by the most trusted source in clean, waxy sanitary supply. Although, having said that, he did those defenders pretty dirty there for Vancouver. And once again, our buddies over at Scubalicious Ultimate, featuring in-depth player interviews, tips on how to improve your game, and the midweek Flamecast. It's available live on Facebook. Reposts later on Twitter. A marginal excuse to blab about flying plastic. My favorite tagline ever.
I agree.
How do you come up with something like that? I have no idea. And the Ultimate Sports Guide, the ultimate in Bay Area sports magazines. Pick up one today by the merchandise tent and check out great coverage for all Bay Area sports. Second game of 4 then on the homestand. And
they get a week off next week, right? And then it's 2 after that?
Yes, that's correct. So they'll be here on the 4th against LA, and then that game that we are breathlessly anticipating on the 10th as San Jose come back to town for the third and final matchup between these two teams.
And then they finish the season against Seattle, if I'm not mistaken.
They do indeed, on the 15th of July. Unfortunately, our last broadcast will be the game against the Spiders, as the AUDL crew will be here.
Maybe we can pull
July.
some strings.
Yeah, you know. So Joaquin Wallace, the third member of our broadcast team, is down on the field. Yep. Let's send it down to Joaquin.
Into the first quarter, the Flamethrowers are up 8-5. The key word for today's game is finish. Coach Kowiaka felt that the last time that these two teams matched up,
is he on or not?
A little technical
Key word of
difficulty
today's
there.
game is finished.
Joaquin, we'll send him
San
back
Francisco
down.
Flamethrowers are ahead 8-5 so far in the first quarter. Coach Kawako felt that the last time the San Francisco Flamethrowers were out, they did not finish. They left a lot of plays on the field today, this afternoon, they're 8-5. Look for weather with the heat to play a factor in this game. The Riptide played last night. They're on the second of a 2-game back-to-back, so look for the fatigue factor in today's afternoon game. Back to you, Stephen.
Thank you, Joaquin. And certainly it's going to be a trying afternoon here at Laney College. Unseasonably warm temperatures here in Oakland, but it's definitely
Yeah, I was just checking the. I was just checking the weather
82
here.
degrees.
It's listed as 82. Wow.
I'm guessing that.
You think so? Let's see. Okay, 77, which is still warm for around here.
Yeah.
82 is like oppressive to us soft
if
Northern
you live
Californians.
Here if you live in the 510, that is oppressive
like,
heat.
oh
for
god,
sure.
it's oppressive. It's like 82. That's nothing. I have lots of friends from the East Coast that like laugh at us. I'm a native Northern Californian, and I can basically survive in about a 20-degree swing on one way to the other. Outside of that, it's awful. I just want to stay in bed.
Stoppage here. Some discussion going on between the officials. They want to stop the clock, so
They may have might have been a delay of game or an offensive foul if he shoved the marker. So more of this weird zone they're playing here. It's not exactly a zone, but it's some sort of like, ooh, big forehand.
that's a huge throw. On the other end of it is Ty Barbieri, who
throw.
makes a catch. Barbieri with the opening goal of the second period for Vancouver. That's his second of the day.
I believe that was Nechtel that threw that.
So Galbraith, Lamb, Dylan, Jeske, and Barbieri, your goal scorers for Vancouver, and they trim the gap, or they trim the lead to 2.
This zone that the Flamethrowers are throwing, or I don't even know what you want to call it. I'll call it a zone for lack of a better term. Does not seem to be working that great. They seem to be pretty comfortable. Vancouver seems to be pretty comfortable in it. But, you know, that goes, it sort of could be anticipated. They're tired. They don't want to run. If you can just give them the disc and let them survey the field, they're probably going to be pretty happy with that outcome.
So here's a quick look at the replay.
Just a nice, Barbieri stays in. Hagen's closing the gap there, and Barbieri is sort of anticipating it.
Canna picks up the pull, and the Flame throws back to work here with Cassidy Rasmussen in possession of the disc. Lim makes a cut,
Woo!
and the catch.
Oh,
Over the top for Lim, looking for Sanchez. And it's the second
Nice
goal of the day
throw.
for Marcelo.
pretty basic string play there. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to go swing to Rasmussen, ISO Lim out in space, and everybody stays out of Marcelo Sanchez's way to put in the goal.
Is he for you the fittest player on this squad?
From what I'm guessing, yeah. I mean, the amount of points that he plays, I think there's sort of a. I have not played a lot of soccer or experienced a lot of soccer, but I get the sense that like high-level soccer guys can just like run and run and run and
Yeah.
run and run. And I bet he was a soccer player in an earlier life. Keeps his toes in. Yes.
Local lad out of Castro Valley High School, former Trojan.
Yeah. Went to Davis. Played at Nationals. There's a bunch of these Revolver dudes who were former Davis players. Nate White, who we saw in past weeks, was one of them, and Eli Kearns, also another Davis teammate. So between those two and Sanchez, their team was stacked, super duper stacked.
Like the way you said, stacked. There we go.
Stacked.
So this game was 5-5 at one point.
Woo,
It was
Barbieri's
8-5, and now
just
it's
run
9-6.
right away.
Great
Wow.
catch by Barbieri for his second goal of the quarter, his third of the game. And Ty Barbieri there makes it look easy.
Wow, that was Kirkland defending Barbieri, and I'm surprised that's the matchup. Honestly, from what I've seen of Kirkland, I don't really get the sense that he's sort of the speedy defender type who's going to be defending the guy who is the leading goal scorer for the opposing team. Just sort of a basic, sort of a one-on-one ISO, and Barbieri wins out. This is going to go to Nechtel, and there goes Barbieri from the bottom of the screen, and woof, is he open. Nechtel really winds up and drives this. This is a really nicely thrown backhand.
Man,
Drops his shoulder, gets a nice low release point, and really drives it. When you see people really throw backhands, it's almost like swinging a golf club, except it's the opposite motion, opposite direction. When you see someone drop their head and drop their shoulder and really snap their shoulders and snap their hips, you know that thing's going to go a long way.
Barbieri left him in the dust that time.
Well, he's the man here. He's the main goal scorer. Ooh, Davis is
Lindsay.
wide open. Antoine Davis and Lindsay sort of ran a little pattern there. Wow.
And the blade is caught by Davis.
This play starts off, you're going to see Davis clear a spot that Lindsley runs into, and then Davis just runs deep. And there's not much to it. Either his defender lost track of him, or he got caught staring at what was happening upfield, or I don't know what. But wow, Davis is tremendously open.
Greg Moore was defending him. Yeah, he's just already looking upfield.
Yeah, so he's so open that Lindsley can just throw pretty much whatever he wants. Kind of a breakdown, pretty tough breakdown from Vancouver on that one. Who's on Davis probably should stay on him.
10-7 the score.
Could have been a blown switch or something like that, too. You never know.
This is the 7th all-time meeting between these two teams. San Francisco hold the overall win record 4-2. Although this is the first season these two teams will not play 3 games, and I assume that's because San Francisco will make the trip to Toronto for the Cross Coast Challenge.
Ooh.
This will deflect out of bounds as Hagen.
On Wong.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Bayless bails out Hagen that time. Losing his hat in the process. Here's Bayless now. Got it by Lamb.
It's a little scrambled here. To dump it.
VTL was open downfield.
There goes Spear trying to give and go.
Rasmussen tried to make a cut away from his defender.
Oh, that's going to work. Nice throw.
And it's a nice catch for...
That was Spear to Gavall.
I thought it was a 9. It was, in fact, a 0, and Gavall has his first goal of the game. And quietly, Rubes, he's having a nice season for the Flamethrowers as well.
Definitely. Like, it's interesting to see him downfield scoring goals because normally he's a handler. Normally he's close to the disc. But Coach Kawaoka has to do so much shuffling of his personnel that you never know who's going to be where. In that case, Spear was handling. Bayless was handling. I don't know if Gavall started out as a handler and maybe drifted downfield, but to see him on the receiving end is that might have been his. We probably only see him score 2 or 3 goals at home.
I was going to say, I was just looking up his statistics. I'm going to say at least 3 or 4 at home this season. I think he scored in every home game we've had so far. I know he definitely scored in the game against the Growlers.
I know his role has typically been handler though. He's a handler, not a cutter.
So Gavall has 1 goal. Okay. Now he has 2. So
he's got 2.
There you go.
Well done. He has doubled his output for the season. Wow. Just muscled it up there. I think the wind must be picking up. That pull flew way out of bounds. And if the flags are blowing a little bit more steadily now, too, and I can feel a little bit of a breeze as well, which makes sense, right? We've been here at 3 or 4 o'clock on past days, and it gets pretty windy. So I think the wind is going to be picking up here.
And you've talked about it being a laid breeze here.
Yeah, there it is. There's that flag. It's sort of it's coming and going a little bit, but definitely a little stiffer than it was earlier.
Vassiev swings one way and then another.
Oh, boy. Sanchez had that lined up.
Under some duress there was G.
Yeah, double team.
To Vassiev. Hounded here by Cannon. Now out to Hibbert.
Ooh, the Hibbert-Davis matchup I like.
Hibbert dumps it off to Brandon Wong. One of the longer points of the day so far for Vancouver.
Yeah, they're being patient, though.
Real patient at the moment. Here's Dylan.
Oh. Canner gambled on that one and got beat a little bit.
Vassiev. Over the top and looking for Wong.
Yeah, I didn't see what Wong was doing there. I just saw the throw, but he threw that so decisively that I think Wong was cutting to that spot and then broke the cutoff and worked his way towards the middle of the field.
So a promising Vancouver possession ends with disappointment.
Oh, there he goes
This
again. There's
over the
Sanchez. If this stays in bounds, he's going to have a shot at it.
Oh, and he caught it with one
nice.
hand. Great awareness of the sideline there by Sanchez as he waits for Canna and Rasmussen to arrive. Now Canna has it. Sanchez is open in the corner.
And there's Lim.
They'll go the other side, and Lim, the two-handed catch for his second goal. So the Flamethrowers starting to stretch their legs here in the second quarter as they now lead by 5.
Sanchez sets that up again. He's the last man in the stack, and he is just putting his head. He's not doing much of anything except putting his head down and going. He must be quite fast, if that's the case, because he's just running by people. And then Lim is super open here. Cantor sees that coming a mile away.
It's like Vassiev knew he was a beaten man that time. So Lim.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Roops.
No, I was going to say for Vassiev's point is that if you're flat-footed and you feel you have to anticipate where your guy's going to go, and if you get spun and run the other direction, like there's nothing he can do about that. So.
Plus, our bodies only have a finite amount of energy, if you believe a certain 45th president.
He has depleted his his resources.
But real quick, 2 goals for Lim today. He only has 3 on the season so far, so he's on his way to doubling his goal tally just in today's game alone.
I think he actually might have made Revolver as well, so good for him. Oh, there's that lefty. I don't know what's going on. People are looking around at each other a little bit on the Flamethrowers.
That was Vu to Lamb on that throw.
Yeah, they're having trouble getting it off the line. Oh, inside out.
Tough throw.
Very nice.
And
That's a great throw. That's a throw to a guy whose defender does not see the disc. That's why that throw even becomes possible. Vu's got a lot of flair to his throws there. He's got these really interesting low release points and throws a lot of weird bendy stuff, but yeah, Spears kind of shaking his head a little bit coming out here because that dump goes to Vu and then Spears man starts running upfield, and I don't think he's anticipating that throw to be. If he's anticipating anything, he's anticipating it over his right shoulder because that's the force. But he's dealing with a left-handed thrower who also has thrown some really unpredictable stuff.
Okay, Coach Karaoke was about to start doing the robot then as we broke away from the shot. 12-8 the score here as we approach the midpoint in the second quarter of play.
Boy, their pulls have been pretty short today.
Yeah, they have indeed.
Vancouver, I'm surprised.
Good field position now for the Flamethrowers.
That's another way you can tell how windy it is, how bad the pulls are one direction.
Wind certainly blowing north to south, judging by the flags and above the field here. So the wind at the back of the Flamethrowers now, as Lindsley and Can exchange throws. Now Davis has it. As Antoine dumps it off. Back over to Lindsley. Davis makes a cut.
They're in their end zone now. Ooh, kind of a two-handed push pass. That was interesting.
Nice build-up play and a goal for Justin Lim. So he has now doubled his season tally. That's his 6th goal of the season. And Justin Lim having quite the game so far.
A couple points ago when he was the third person in that string play that resulted in a pretty easy goal, I was actually nice catch there. This is a interesting push pass to set that up, to slack it. Easy goal. It's interesting. You could see why Lim made Revolver because you can the athleticism that he showed when he was isolated in that cut is exactly what they want. That string that they just ran off this initial stop disc was you'll see they'll take all of their players and they'll stack them on one side of the field. That's called the side stack. So what that does is it's going to open up this enormous field for a single person being isolated on a single defender. And when the cutter is someone like Lindsley or Kittredge or Rasmussen or now Lim, you can see how it's very, very difficult to contain that person. And that's Revolver's stock and trade. They run that side stack, and they isolate their athletes in space. Ooh, double team.
Hounded there was Kevin Law.
There's that crazy inside-out backhand again. Wow.
And this time it drops, despite the best efforts of Jordan Dillon to leap and make the catch. Brett Peterson was all over it for the Flamethrowers.
There's Peterson.
Draws a double team.
Almost a triple team.
Dumps it off here to Andrew Hagan. Nice look at Andrew Hagan there as he dumps that one off.
Oh, boy.
Here's a throw up over the top, and
I think the wind is picking up. I think the wind is definitely picking up. That was an inside-out forehand that did not stay inside out. It turned over as soon as it came off Bayless's hand.
And a timeout is called by Vancouver. That's their first, with 6:44 remaining in the half. Flamethrowers with a comfortable 5-goal lead, excuse me.
No, it's 6. Oh.
We'll take a break, and we'll be back with more from Laney College here in just a moment's time.
The Bay Area Disc Association is a nonprofit organization that fuels the local development of Ultimate Frisbee, with instruction for new players and dozens of high-quality leagues and tournaments that help make the Bay Area a hotbed for this great sport.
Bay Area Disc has dozens of programs for people of all different ages, skill levels. So whether you're a kid just starting out, going to our clinics, or if you're an adult elite club player playing in our Revolution tournaments. We have something for everybody.
Welcome back to Laney College. It's a 13-8 lead for the Flamethrowers with 6:46 remaining in the first half. Timeout called by Vancouver.
Long way to go, and both teams are looking a little ragged out there right now, a little tired.
A little earlier start than usual. All our games played here at Laney College have started at 6 o'clock in the evening, and a 1 o'clock Pacific start today.
Oh, Barbarian's left-handed. I didn't realize that. We just see him score a bunch of goals, not throw any.
Here's Kevin Law. Oh, nice throw over the top.
Great
Wong
throw.
gives chase. Can you make the catch?
Yes.
He can. In stride, Brendan Wong with the grab.
If we watch this throw again, here's something for folks that have just started watching Ultimate or just learning a little bit. If you see a thrower, look for a little while, then they take their right foot and they lean it back. That's almost like what they're doing is they're rocking their weight backwards because then they're going to rock it forwards. So if we see this throw, what you're going to see he rocks his foot back here. He's going to step back and then whack forward. And this is a really nice throw. This is a very, very, very nice forehand. But he's generating that power to throw it that far because he's leaning his weight back and then he's going to lean his weight forward. So if you watch for that, Stephen, as you see this,
Sure.
if you see somebody, now the guys that are really the terrifying throwers are the guys that don't have to do that. They just stand there square, they see everything, and their elbow and the wrist just snaps, the thing comes out like a rocket.
So that goal trims the Flamethrower lead to 4. And another short pull. It doesn't seem like the Flamethrowers have had that much of an issue coming that way from south to north.
Isolate Davis, that's all it is. That's just a pure isolation.
Off goes Rasmussen. He has a step on Hibbets, and he makes the catch for the goal. Cassidy Rasmussen has his first of the afternoon.
You're starting to see the Flamethrowers really exert their will over the Riptide. That was a two-pass goal, and that's really demoralizing. Part of the reason why these two-pass goals or these three-pass goals are working is because Vancouver's pulls are very, very, very short, especially going upwind, which is going to camera right.
Right.
Those things are dropping it around the 40.
Right.
So if you set up a team where they only have 50 yards to go, you can reach that easily with 2 throws, which then also puts your defense in a very difficult position because if you have to cover somebody and they can threaten you both deep and underneath, you're in big trouble. And then you just have to kind of pick the one that you want. If it was me, whenever I was in that position, I would always defer towards pushing my man underneath. At least then I'm not going to give up the goal.
Kirkland with a pull. This is going to roll.
Yeah, I think the wind is definitely picked up. We're seeing rolling pulls. The flags are blowing a little bit more. Some people's shirts. You see some jerseys kind of snapping there for people on the sideline.
Never detail it escapes Rubes. That's a lovely
Nice
throw.
throw.
Outstanding. From Morgan Hibbett there to Ty Barbieri. Renewed pep in the step here perhaps for the Riptide on this
backhand
possession.
for the break. Oh, wow.
That's nicely done. Really well done there by the Riptide.
He's not in. He's
Just short.
And
now
he's
he
in.
is. So that was Barbieri, Hibbett, and then Dillon finishing off the point. But that is...
I think it was Vasilev's hammer that actually broke that open. And then it's just off to the races. Righty backhand, another backhand to Hibbert. He's just short. Everyone sort of gives up. Flamethrowers run off the field. Oops, he's not in. Then run back on and try to get back in the play. Dang.
So Dillon with a goal in each quarter now. It's his second.
That's an adjustment. There's that wind. It's enough to make the flag stand up steadily, so it's not howling, but it's definitely becoming a factor.
We've talked, or you've talked more like how the wind
There's
here
like
is
strata of wind.
Yeah,
right?
because if you look up at the football goalposts, the indicators up there for the field goal kicker
they're not blowing at all.
No, they're not.
Yeah, and both goalposts on both sides. So I think it's because we're so close to the Bay here, and it's just the Bay Area is really a city and an area of microclimates.
Right.
And it can be. I live in Berkeley, and it can be 10 degrees hotter here, and it's 3 miles. So I think we just see that, and I think stadiums in general just have very odd wind patterns.
And we have to be at the very least 3/4 of a mile or so from the estuary there. We're not quite on the bay itself, but we're not far away from it. Rasmussen now has the disc for the
There
Flamethrowers.
goes Sanchez again.
Cannon with some moves. Breaks to the far side.
Wants to get off the sideline. Ooh, Lindsley, nice move upfield. Canner was open, but there's a poaching defender in the vicinity. Whoa!
Nicely done. And it's Sam Canner. And this storyline is starting to seem a lot like the game against the Growlers with multiple different scorers. I have to tally them up here when I have a second, but Rasmussen and Canner are getting in on the goal-scoring action now as well.
It's a pretty risky throw from Schlackett there. There are two defenders in the neighborhood when that throw comes off, and he really has to zing that into Canner. He throws kind of a bladey forehand. So it's going to get Schlackett gets it. There's a poach, but this thing that's a bladey forehand. 1-2 defenders. Canner's the only guy who's running to it. The other two are trailing it, but pretty small window to throw into. But as we've seen as this game progresses, the Canner and Schlackett seem to have some sort of unspoken communication where they're throwing things into very tight spaces to one another with a lot of confidence.
I'd estimate the Flamethrowers of at least 5 to 10 yards more per pull on average going from south to north versus the Riptide.
Because that went out at the 25?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Riptide have been averaging right
About
between the
40
40 and the 35.
Yeah. So Riptide come out in a vertical stack with one dump, which is I don't think we've seen this from them yet. But they've been coming out. Flamethrowers have been throwing a lot of junk on them. So they're probably coming out of their set offenses pretty quick to deal with the zony, junky things they're putting on them. This is a standard man.
Rob and Bobby Arry just waiting for an opportunity to arise downfield.
Oh, nice. Oh, boy, just enough.
Gaval's a couple inches tall. He
Bayless,
probably would have had
great
that.
defense in front of the disc of Vasilev.
Now Wong.
The dump defenders are poaching the throwing lane a little bit. There we are. So we just saw Vitiello. He's playing off of his man, and he's standing in the throwing lane to force the throw to be a short parallel pass. And then Gavol was just doing that as well. So that might be something that they've decided to start doing is the dump defenders are going to, we call it poaching the lane.
Vancouver take their second time out here with 4:37 remaining in the first half of play. We'll take a break and back more in a moment. Thank you to Boone, our partner in Ultimate Clothing, and Coach Kawaoka with the fancy pants.
Very fancy pants. Looks like he took out a couple of red zebras to get his hands on those things.
Yeah. So Vancouver after calling the timeout. Back to work here. Bobby Arry now to Galbraith. Scored the opening goal for Vancouver today.
Oh, Barbieri was open.
Oh, takes a deflection, hangs up. Hagen, the second attempt, and is swatted down by Gaval. And Bobby Arry had...
Okay, the wind is definitely picking up. You see how much this bounced?
Sure, yep.
And how much it's floating? Yeah, it is absolutely positively picking up. So people are throwing their forehands. The forehand going this way, you're going to see low-release forehands because you got to keep it out of the wind. And if your feet aren't set and you don't get enough wrist snap on it, it's either going to float or it's going to turn over.
Now Bayless is going to call timeout for San Francisco. So 2 timeouts within the last 44 seconds of action. It's still a comfortable 5-goal lead, however, for the Flamethrowers.
I think they just probably are going to burn their timeouts because you lose them before the half. So there's no point in holding them.
So stoppage here with 3:56 remaining in the half. Let's take a break, and we'll be back with more from Laney College in a moment.
Our work is something to be proud of. We make the products people use, the products that make their lives simpler, the high-tech tools to help defend our country, and the innovations that will shape the future. Some say American industry can't keep up anymore. I say our work is proof that made in the USA still means something. The power professionals of the IBEW, proudly American, proudly union.
One of our successes has always been able to find the B personalities, and the B personality just stands for Butler, which means fitting into our organization. We could have been a much bigger company if we had chosen to be, but it's been the philosophy of both myself, Bill, and the leadership team to stay at a size that we really know all of our team members and their family members, because we're only as good as the team member sitting next to us.
Welcome back to Laney College.
Score on 2. 1, 2, clear. Clear left.
Goes up top for Davis.
Oh, very nice.
Nicely done by Marcelo Sanchez, and Davis has his third goal of the day, his second of the quarter. And it's now a 6-goal lead for the Flamethrowers.
I'm betting that's a stop play. That's a stop play because that's off of a stop disc. Davis, you saw him just run out of the field. So, and ultimately, what you often see is this: you can't just watch you can't just isolate one guy and let him run around if you don't have everybody else making room for that person to run into. So, oftentimes you'll see plays where one person will vacate a spot, another person will fill it, and then you'll maybe hit that guy who's gone deep. It's kind of like a pick and roll. That's a great example. Davis makes a little slide cut, starts going deep, creates this giant pocket for Sanchez to run into. Sanchez runs into. It's kind of like a pick and roll in basketball. Right? The guy sets the pick, and then he's going to start rolling, and maybe you'll hit him. Maybe it's idea. Create space for other people to run into, and then you can attack with that person that's just vacated.
Biggest lead of the day then for the Flamethrowers into the waning moments of the second half.
Boy.
And it's starting to fall apart for Vancouver
wheels
now.
are starting to come off here.
Can Gavall and the rest of the Flamethrowers capitalize? Gavall has the disc. Dumps it off to Bayless. Now to Vitiello.
Ooh, double team on Bayless. Oh, he still gets
back
it.
inside for the goal. San Francisco piling on now as Bayless has his first goal. So that makes 10 different scores now for the Flamethrowers here inside the first half.
That's rough for Vancouver. You just turn it over off the first pass, 20 yards out of your own end zone. Difficult.
Historically, these have been pretty close games between these two teams. Only one game has ended in what you could really term a blowout with a 10-goal victory for San Francisco back in 2014.
I'm pretty sure the Flamethrowers have gone to Vancouver and lost, too.
They have. Actually, they're 2-0 here at home, but they're 2-2 on the road. And Vancouver have won the 2 victories they've had have come in the third game of the 3-game series for the season. So they usually play it back-to-back up in Vancouver.
Yeah, typically they'll travel from Seattle to Vancouver, Vancouver to Seattle, or something of that nature.
Let me find my statistic here.
Where'd that roll out? Really far out, but the 50. Gosh.
Yeah, in 2015, Vancouver beat San Francisco in the third game of the series, 27-17. And then last season, and this is an interesting point we'll come back to in a moment, but they won that game on the 4th of June.
The 4th of June.
That's
a foul. But they're going to let that go because it was caught.
It was nicely done by Alex Davis.
Yep, nice catch. He's got to punt it.
Oh, and Davis
Yep.
over the top.
Just throws it to a spot there. That's a high count punt.
He was looking for Peter Galbraith over his head. But going back quickly to that game last year played on the 4th of June, San Francisco beat Vancouver 6 days prior to that, 30-27.
Oh, boy. Wind has picked up.
Thompson makes a catch, make a number of adjustments. Gavall diving can't come up with it.
It wasn't to him. That was to Vitiello.
So last year they beat Vancouver to go 8-0. The following game, 6 days later, they played Vancouver. It was their first loss of the season. They lost 29-27. San Francisco were 8-1 at that point. They'd only go 3-3 the rest of the way.
Oh, wow.
Including that loss, of course, in the playoffs to the Cascades.
Oh, wow. That's an interesting break there.
So we'll see if this season, if a victory over Vancouver today could kickstart the second half of the campaign for the Flamethrowers. They're in prime position now, up by 7. And it could be 6 if Barbieri can make the catch, which he does. And that's Barbieri's 4th goal, his 3rd of the quarter.
He's keeping them afloat a little bit here.
Asking a lot here of Ty Barbieri to put the team on his shoulders. But he has his 4th goal of the day.
Good offense from Vancouver on that one. Nice looking, relatively easy. They're not, if you can avoid turning it over 10 yards out of your own end zone, good things happen. A little bending forehand to space. You notice Barbieri took a little peek downfield there. When you've played a lot of Ultimate, what you need to do is one of the things you learn to do is you learn how to make a read as soon as the disc comes off somebody's hand. You've already sort of internalized like the force, and you get a feeling for where your defender is. And if you can read it quickly, you can take your eyes off the disc and look around a little bit for a split second, and then you just got to go find it again. So if you make the right read,
the flame with the catch of the ball. Wow, that went right. He didn't even have to move a muscle. He just put his hand up and he makes a catch. Even the flame is getting in on the action here. But
they should boot up Flame. He's got cleats on.
That pull is the shortest of the day, though. They're barely 2 yards into the Flamethrower half of the field. So
sort of a junky defense here. Now, this is not even a zone. It's sort of a loose cut.
Davis along the near sideline.
Now they're going to go man.
Canna. Over to Rasmussen.
Super open. There you go. That was the... Oh, wow.
And the Flamethrower is just making it look easy at the moment. 5 consecutive passes and a catch there by Marcelo Sanchez for his 3rd goal of the day.
Transition from zone to man, as we mentioned earlier, the place where our defense is most vulnerable is during that transition. And in that case, Justin Lim is left completely uncovered. He's smart enough to go to the right spot. He's played enough to know where the threatening location is on the field during that transition. If someone came and covered him, he'd probably run out and go somewhere else. But he's super duper open, uncovered really. And then nice around to Sanchez, who continues to pad his stats.
And he could continue to pad his stats the way that today is going on. That's his 22nd goal of the season. And with Dahlman not playing and Rasmussen just 1, he's now the team leader in goals by 6.
Wow.
So,
and there's a half to go here.
And there is a half to go. And in a game that's unfortunately looking to be decided here, maybe even before the end of the half.
Throw that continuation. I don't know why you looked that off. Ooh,
nice throw over the top, giving chase, but ultimately unable to reach it is Natikman.
Laurie there looked off sort of the dump continue. He got a disc thrown cross field, and he looked off continuation to the next cutter. And you see what happens on a day like today. That's going to work. It's a terrible throw that works. When it's this windy, if you get open backhand looks or open backhand shots, oh, nice throw.
Great throw, and unable to make the catch of Sawyer Thompson. Making the bid with the left hand, but unable to come up with it.
Bayless's throw there to Thompson that comes off and looks like really like an awful, awful throw. Oh, he almost gets this. Look at it bouncing around there in the wind. See how quickly that drops? Once that disc starts to lose rotation, it loses lift, and in windy conditions like this, it'll kind of drop like a rock.
It's a nice throw there from Kevin
man
Moore.
Open deep.
But the Riptide had to hold up just a moment. Here's Knechtel. That's a Galbraith.
It's Wong.
Wong being hounded here by Brett Peterson.
Vasily, nice move. Great move.
Can he make the catch? He can. He was wheeling around with the right arm trying to snag it.
I guess that's Vasiliev, sorry. He makes a nice move underneath and gets his defender to bite underneath, and then he takes him deep and is wide open.
It's a bit of a strange attempt to make the catch a wheel.
Well,
let's see. I see what he's trying to do.
Yeah, so when you're running, you got to kind of time your hands correctly, and if the disc is coming by you pretty quick. Oh, 3.
Can will huck this downfield, giving chases VTL. Will go out of play, and a nasty collision on the running track there.
Don't lay out on the track.
That was Alex Davis and VTL, and both of them are hurt. And you can see
they probably just scratched up and scraped up there, but that's not a great idea to lay out on the track. If VTL does not anticipate someone to be lying down on the ground in front of him.
Luckily,
nice bid from both guys.
Luckily for Davis, his knees landed on the turf rather than on the running track itself. But at the end of the first half, we have Joaquin Wallace down on the field with Antoine Davis. Joaquin, take it away.
Hi, we're at halftime here with San Francisco Flamethrower Antoine Davis. Antoine, you've had a big first half. You talked about your team coming out, not overlooking this team, and you guys came out well in this first half.
Yeah, we bring the fire, flame on. We said at the beginning of the game that we needed to bring it. These guys played the game last night. They lost, so they're pretty fired up to get a win today. And we came out hard. So
That play you made in the first half, very athletic. That's going to be one of the top 10 plays. Describe it.
Yeah, I was just playing really help offense because that throw wasn't for me. But I saw it hang up, and my guy also came to help. So I came in aggressive. I know Hibber's a big jumper, so I had to jump big also.
What is going to be the keys for the second half coming in?
Just be calm, hold our lead, just play hard defense. They're shorter numbers, so are we. So we really have to stay hydrated and make sure we don't cramp, and we should lead with a win.
You heard it here from Antoine Davis. San Francisco Flamethrowers up at half, 18-11. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Joaquin. You heard it from Antoine himself. Staying hydrated now, Roots is the key.
Yeah, yes, for sure. They've only got another half of ultimate to go here, but hydration is very, very, very important.
We'll take a break then on a warm afternoon at Laney College in Oakland. It's a comfortable 7-goal lead for the Flamethrowers. We'll be back with more here from Laney College in a few moments' time.
These guys are football players. They're new to the disc.
The Bay Area Disc Association is a nonprofit organization that fuels the local development of Ultimate Frisbee, with instruction for new players and dozens of high-quality leagues and tournaments that help make the Bay Area a hotbed for this great sport.
Bay Area Disc has dozens of programs for people of all different ages, skill levels. So whether you're a kid just starting out, going to our clinics, or if you're an adult elite club player playing in our Revolution tournaments, we have something for everybody.
Our work is something to be proud of. We make the products people use, the products that make their lives simpler, the high-tech tools to help defend our country, and the innovations that will shape the future. Some say American industry can't keep up anymore. I say our work is proof that made in the USA still means something. The power professionals of the IBEW, proudly American, proudly union.
One of our successes has always been able to find the B personalities, and the B personality just stands for Butler, which means fitting into our organization. We could have been a much bigger company if we had chosen to be, but it's been the philosophy of both myself, Bill, and the leadership team to stay at a size that we really know all of our team members and their family members, because we're only as good as the team member sitting next to us.
Your life is filled with great stuff, and we know that protecting all of it with someone you can trust is very important. Geico has been a trusted insurer for over 75 years, and we have a local office in your area. So call us or come on in. We'll spend some time with you to make sure you have the right coverage to protect all your great stuff. Geico. Savings at your local office.
The Bay Area Disc Association is a nonprofit organization that fuels the local development of Ultimate Frisbee, with instruction for new players and dozens of high-quality leagues and tournaments that help make the Bay Area a hotbed for this great sport.
Bay Area Disc has dozens of programs for people of all different ages, skill levels. So whether you're a kid just starting out, going to our clinics, or if you're an adult elite club player playing in our Revolution tournaments, we have something for everybody.
Our work is something to be proud of. We make the products people use, the products that make their lives simpler, the high-tech tools to help defend our country, and the innovations that will shape the future. Some say American industry can't keep up anymore. I say our work is proof that made in the USA still means something. The power professionals of the IBEW, proudly American, proudly union.
One of our successes has always been able to find the B personalities, and the B personality just stands for Butler, which means fitting into our organization. We could have been a much bigger company if we had chosen to be, but it's been the philosophy of both myself, Bill, and the leadership team to stay at a size that we really know all of our team members and their family members, because we're only as good as the team member sitting next to us.
Welcome back to Laney College in Oakland. The San Francisco Flamethrowers at the midpoint of the 2017 AUDL season in command 18-11. Let's give some shout-outs to our sponsors, beginning with the Ultimate Sports Guide, the ultimate in Bay Area sports magazines. Pick up one today by the merchandise stand and check out great coverage of all Bay Area sports. Our friends at Oakland Magazine for everything East Bay. Check out Oakland Alameda Magazine, free at shops and stands and filled with great local stories and interviews. Mountain Hardware, get up and out with Mountain Hardware. We have special passes to the employee-only discount store in the East Bay. Pick up one at the box office and go and get beautiful clothing at more than 50% off. It's an invitation-only store. It is not open to the general public, so please ask the staff for an invite. Office Relief.
Oh, Office Relief, yes. Formed by a group of former LPC Ultimate players. They provide fantastic chairs, desks, you name it, to make ergonomics. Ergonomics are certainly important.
They are.
They've been around for a long time. I've known those guys forever, so it's great to see them sponsoring the team.
They need to get you a special Office Relief high chest you can see over the monitor.
And I actually have a chair of theirs that my office used to be right around the corner from theirs, and they sold us a chair 10, 15 years ago. I still have it. It's great. I use it at home.
So 18-11 the score, and let's take a look at some first-half highlights. And I have a feeling we're going to be seeing a certain Antoine Davis with a highlight.
I would dare say this is a very nice inside-out break. That lefty, those interesting lefty throws you've been seeing from William Vu, that sort of set the tone here. Little pocket pass inside-out to Schlackett, another pocket pass. These two today have been on the same page, Schlackett and Canner. Nice around break to Schlackett. And then big one from Lindsley. Sanchez first of his... How many goals he scored today? 3, 4?
Sanchez has 3 so far.
Yeah, so... There's Vitiello. Oh, yeah. Look out, sniper!
Schlackett was quiet in the second quarter, but he has 3 as well.
Bayless takes it away on an inside-out. This is this amazing throw. Everyone's standing around waiting on it, except for that guy. Ah!
And he's already on the AUDL Twitter page. That clip is already uploaded.
That's an incredible catch.
Sliding there was Thompson.
Yeah.
And it was 5-5 at the beginning, about midway through the first quarter, and ever since then, the Flamethrowers have just put the pedal to the metal. 13-6, the differential in scoring since.
This is a nice throw to Barbieri.
Great catch, too.
Yeah, really nice catch. He had to go get it there. He's afraid that's coming past him. Here's Davis again, super open by 15, 20 yards, so Lindsley can just throw whatever he wants there. This is a really nice throw from Spear to Gavol, where it's a nice rhythm throw from Spear. That's a really interesting inside-out backhand. Spear had his back to the disc. And Schlackett, easy goal to Lim. One of the kind of few bright moments there in that second quarter, just off to the races. And then a little Blady goal to Canner. Barbieri again.
That's his 4th goal. He leads all scorers today, does Ty Barbieri. But a lot of work for Vancouver to do here in this second half of play, Rubes. I know it's a tough ask when you just completed your previous game a little over 16 hours ago, but can the Riptide summon enough in the tank to try and get back into this game?
I think that at this point the wheels would have to completely come off for them to get back into it. I mean, at this point they can just trade goals. I mean, the Flamethrowers have a 6-goal margin, so they can just kind of, ooh, look at that kid go. They can just trade goals. They could even give up 2. They could even give a 3-point run. They still have a 3-point lead. So I don't know if Vancouver's going to have much chance to get back in this game. And there's the horn.
The buzzer sounds for the beginning of the second half of play. And look at Coach Yo Kawaoka,
there he is.
a former Flamethrower player back in 2016.
Yeah, he's been associated with the team and with the players for a long time because he was one of Revolver's coaches last season. I don't believe he's coaching Revolver again this year, but this will be his coaching. Maybe this will be his only coaching experience this season, coaching the Flamethrowers.
So 18 goals scored by the Flamethrowers, a hat-trick apiece for Schlackett, Sanchez, and for Justin Lim.
18 goals in the first half, right?
Yeah.
And last night, Vancouver scored 19. Scored 18 the entire game.
In Vancouver, that's one of the struggles they've had is scoring goals. They average just over a fraction over 20 goals a game coming in.
Yeah.
And they've conceded an average of just over 26 a game. So part of the reason why they won in 7. And Davis
just runs right by his man.
And it is nicely done. His opposite number there, Fred Lamb, no chance there. And it's a goal within 12 seconds then to start the third quarter of play.
Football and soccer,
goal of the day.
Man. Doesn't even really need to put his head down to be running fast. He just kicks it into gear. Runs right by his defender.
But this guy is, I mean, just
he's a real athlete.
In the space of these 7 games they've played this season, I mean, he has to be next season amongst the top 50 players in the league, just based on the evidence that we've seen here today.
That's
or this season, I should say.
Yeah, that's Coach Tasia Balding across the way there for the for Vancouver. She also coaches the Vancouver women's team up there called Traffic. They're perennial national power in Canada. I think they're Canada's they're Canada's best women's team. At least they have been for several years.
But their club teams, I mean, they're on a parallel with teams like Sockeye and Revolver, the Furious George team.
Yeah, they have been. I don't think Furious is quite as good as they've been in past years. The Northwest region of USA Ultimate is very competitive. There's Rhino, which is the team from Oregon, Furious George, which is from Vancouver, and of course Seattle Sockeye. So those 3 teams are the ones that typically are going to be battling it out to make nationals.
Barbieri.
Ooh,
nice throw.
Great find.
And Wong can't come up with it. That is
man.
really unfortunate. The official maybe getting in his line of sight there just momentarily.
Bayless was in the neighborhood there, but that's a really nice find from Barbieri on a really high count. Yeah, Bayless is in the neighborhood. Official's out of the way. He just can't quite get there.
Unlucky there is Brendan Wong. Kind of sums up how the day has gone, though, unfortunately for the Riptide.
Just kind of right through our fingers, huh?
Yeah, they were in the game early, but the quality of the Flamethrower is just that little bit better here. The Flamethrowers looking for their first goal of the second half. Here's Kirkland at the midfield line. Nice throw
Peterson's
there.
ISO
Bayless.
deep. Around to Thompson. We haven't seen Sawyer Thompson throw too much. He's been more of a receiver. Oof, boy, I just jinxed him.
That might have been part of the reason why that's too high for Spear.
Both teams are dragging here. Mark hasn't really been set.
And Teekman is open here on the left side of the field. They go to the other side now, and Wong hounded here by Spear.
Yeah, both teams are definitely fatigued here. Not a lot of activity. Ooh, nice around break.
Galbraith has it.
Super open, number 40.
And Dylan has the goals. Dylan now has 3, 1 in each quarter. And Vancouver have their first goal of the second half.
Barbieri drags Peterson out and opens up a pocket for Dylan there.
It's Jordan Dylan. 3rd goal of the season for him. 4 games around the AUDL on a Sunday. We already have a couple of finals, so we'll get to that in just a little bit.
Big night last night, huh? Lots of games.
Wow, there was some close calls. That Raleigh Jacksonville game.
That was
two heavyweights. A 1-goal victory for Raleigh.
Wow.
Atlanta with a victory over the Austin Soul. That game also decided by a goal. It was 28-27 Atlanta. And then, of course, the Spiders, which the crew loves me saying the word Spiders. So
Spiders, mate.
Have another one with that 1918 victory over the Riptide.
And Minnesota wins again, so they are undefeated. They might be. I think they're the only undefeated team.
Yes, they are. That's correct.
Ooh, nice catch.
Nice layout there by Justin Lim. Here's Cannon. Open is Sanchez to the right side. Davis Colesford on the left. They will go to the right, and Sanchez with a one-hand catch. Now Rasmussen
points him upfield. Very nice. Sends Schlackett for a little backdoor cut.
Schlackett to Cannon.
Nice.
And it's nicely done again by the Flamethrowers, who have found their stride in this game.
That O team, that O line for the Flamethrowers, a little more spring in their step, right? You kind of get the sense that they came out watching the previous group not being terribly active downfield, and they just kind of said to themselves, all right, enough of this.
Well, the Flamethrowers, though, have the benefit, though, Rubes, of having 7 days off in a row, as opposed to playing 16 hours ago.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, having said that, they did have the Revolver tryouts, though, last time you saw me against Cascades.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Easy goal there. Yeah. So for those that don't know, that when Steven and I are talking about Revolver, the way it
We're
works...
not talking about the Beatles album.
No, we're talking about the Ultimate Landscape can be a little confusing. The AUDL is a pro league that runs in parallel to USA Ultimate, which is an amateur league. And USA Ultimate's been around for a very long time. That's where everyone learned how to play. That's where I played for 20 years. All these guys are USA Ultimate players. Ooh.
Throw up over the top, looking for Lamb. Ooh.
Doesn't get there.
Lamb makes a great catch despite the best efforts there of Hagen.
Oh, looks it off that.
Wong has
very
it
open
with
person.
the blade.
Oh, very
and
nice.
there it is for the goal. The Vancouver.
Hagen almost got there, but not quite. So as I was saying, USA Ultimate plays in parallel. Their season runs later in the year. Nationals is in October typically. So in most municipal areas, most towns that have Ultimate teams, the Bay Area has multiple Ultimate teams. There are 6 teams. Open teams that are generally, they call them open because men or women can both play, but typically it's all men. The Bay Area's top team is a team called Revolver, and a lot of the players that participate on the Flamethrowers also play for Revolver because the two teams have formed an alliance, or a partnership, whatever you want to call it. So the line that is currently playing offense for the Flamethrowers are also all Revolver players. They had their tryouts last weekend, and the team has been set, and all 7 guys you see out there in black are Revolver players and Flamethrower players. Now, that's not necessarily the same. That's not the same case where like they're just all of them are on both groups. Oh, nice
Sanchez
break.
breaks
So
away
easy.
and leaves Alex Davis in the dust. And we talked about it earlier, Rubes, but I think it is safe to say that based on what I've seen from Sanchez, he's definitely, if not the fittest player on the team,
Yeah.
top 2 or 3 for
Absolutely,
sure.
yes. Grinding. He's grinding. When I use the term grinding, that means when you're a cutter downfield, oftentimes you just have to run and run and run and run and run and run and run with no, you don't get a lot of positive outcomes. Sometimes you don't score. Sometimes your team turns it over and you have to then go play defense on somebody who wants to do the same thing to you. So you get this sort of grinder's mentality, and Sanchez certainly has that.
That's a throw from Davis. Perfectly positioned. And easy catch for Marcelo Sanchez. 5 goals for Sanchez now on the day as he continues to extend his team-leading goal-scoring streak.
There's no true positions in Ultimate, similar to basketball. There's no true positions in the sense that you could put a 6'3" guy playing center if you wanted to. That would not work great for you. But in Ultimate, people are generally broken into handlers and cutters. Handlers are going to be guys who maybe are not quite as straight line fast speed. Ooh, tough turnover. And generally they're going to be better throwers. Cutters are guys who are people like Sanchez. Oh, that's going to pop.
This is going to hang up a long time, and it's swatted away there by Trevor Nechtel.
So cutters are going to be the guys who are making the big, long downfield cuts. Ooh.
Can Wong get there? He can't.
Those are going to be generally your goal scorers on long stuff. Handlers are going to be sort of, we like to use the term squirrely. You ever heard of the term squirrely?
No, I have not.
That's a good one. If you say someone's squirrely, they just can be like real quick, like changes of direction, like in really small spaces. Oh, nice D.
Chance for the Riptide then to capitalize, which they do as Jordan Dillon scores again. That's his 4th of the day.
So the prototypical Ultimate cutter body is usually going to be somebody like Sanchez. He's probably 6'1", maybe 6'2", probably weighs 180 pounds or something like that. Usually, I like to use the term knuckle draggers. Knuckle draggers make very good Ultimate players. Very long arms, long legs. They can eat up a lot of space per stride. I think that's something that Davis definitely has, a quality that he has about him that I'll bet when you're standing next to him and you're running, you think you've got him, but he starts to extend his stride, and the next thing you know, you're 3 steps in his dust. And Sanchez seems to have that too. He's starting out even a lot of times with the people that are defending him, but by the time he's catching the goal, he's a good 5 or 6 yards past them.
certainly a position that plays itself to the sort of prototypical wide receiver body, perhaps.
Absolutely.
It's one of the longer pulls we've seen from the Riptide here this afternoon. And Rasmussen has the disc for the Flamethrowers. Now to Davis. Quick distribution over to Canner. Lindsley was wide open downfield.
Nice inside out.
Ooh. Well defended there. Nicely done by Galbraith. He continues his run downfield.
Yeah, Lim didn't have to jump there. So he loses a step by making that sort of upward motion. Oh, boy. That's a floater.
Davis leaps and he couldn't hold on.
Oh.
Once the foul called is Jeske, he's already got a goal today. How often do you see Davis mistime his leap and Jeske at the other end of this?
Really early.
He almost couldn't believe it came through into his hands, and then he drops it.
I think he's saying that he might have been pushed by Lim or something like that, but regardless, it's a foul, so they maintain possession.
Chance for the Riptide here to capitalize, down by 7.
Oh.
And Vassiev cannot get there off the throw from. And I know it's been a long season for the Riptide at 1-8, but those are the sort of conversions that you have to make.
Yeah. You can't be knocking on the door like that and give too many of those away. Ooh.
Lindsley downfield. Canna gives chase. Sam Canna turns on the Jets and makes a catch. Rasmussen is there. Davis to the far side of the field. Steaming forward comes Schlackett, and Rasmussen is there for the goal. That's his second.
On this replay, what we're going to see is Canner starts to take his man deep, and he's anticipating the throw. And did you see him have to kick it into gear? He turned around. I don't think he was even at full speed. He's not at full speed, and then he's like, oh boy, there it goes. Then he really has to kick it into gear because that disc is coming past him with quite a little more pace than he anticipated.
But watch for Schlackett here to end the stage right there.
Yeah. Yeah, Canner, when you're cutting deep like that, you're going deep. You know you have your man beat. You know what the force is, so you know which shoulder to look over. So when he's going deep, the oldest trick in the book, I still try to teach this to people, like, take your person deep, and if you don't hear an up call, because an up call is when the throw leaves the thrower's hands, you'll hear the entire defense yells up. And what that's trying to do is it's trying to let a defender know they need to start looking for the disc because the disc is in the air. It also lets offensive cutters know the disc is in the air. Oh, did he catch that?
No, and he looks hurt too. I think was it Gaval ran into him? But he had his hand, his fingers were outstretched, and he must not have seen Gaval coming, and
I think
immediately went to ground.
I hope he's okay. I think he might have had the wind knocked out of him, or he just got clocked by Gaval coming through there.
I think he got his hand jammed. Let's see.
No, it's right there. It's that contact right there.
Hip to shoulder,
yeah. Ouch.
But you can see him favoring his hand, too. Let's have a look.
Ow, 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 ow. Yeah, or he got just nailed in the ribs. Gaval's holding his ribs there, too.
Yeah, it was hip to shoulder.
Each other.
Seen a couple of tough collisions, too. We saw Vitiello at the end of the first half go down in a heap.
Yeah, and there's nothing malicious about that. That's a throw that's behind their side, and Gaval has a line on it the whole way. So he's just coming through to make a play on it.
So a brief stoppage in the action here. 6 minutes and 7 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Let's take one more look at the collision here.
Ouch. Yeah, he just got, that's a
hip to the shoulder.
Hip to sort of the upper chest.
Yep.
He just got drilled. And I think that probably got a combination of the wind knocked out of him and also really whacked pretty hard.
So Kevin Lohr is back up on his feet. Gets a big hand from the crowd in attendance here. He will leave under his own power.
It's good to see that.
Braden G's over there in the vicinity as well.
I'm glad he didn't get his shoulder knocked out or something like that because he got nailed.
All right, that's a foul on the defense.
Meantime, 10-yard penalty.
Oof, good heavens. That is a floating throw. It's a good thing there. Good thing Vancouver no defender was in the vicinity there.
Knechtel sends this to the outside. They dump it off.
Vu of the interesting throws. High release.
So done there by Vu. Knechtel has it. Back to Vu and another error by
Vu's having a rough game. He was kind of clicking early, but some of his stuff early was sort of high risk, high reward. And now he's just turning over kind of basic throws. Ooh, that's a nice rip.
Spear goes over the top. Gaval, and it's
wow.
great
D.
bid. Great D.
Nope, he's calling it off. The ref might have thought that was a foul. Gaval saying that's not a foul. Fantastic D.
Give that man
From
Alistair Robb
Yeah.
some dap.
Oh!
And
That was VTL with
Yep.
the D.
VTL lays out.
Both teams might be kind of regaining a little bit of energy here. You're seeing a little more effort from both D teams. Leave their feet and make some hard plays.
Hagen has to get rid of that quick, and VTL can't hold on.
Oh, my gosh.
Which should have been a catch for a goal. It's Vancouver possession right on the goal line.
So it's timeout, Vancouver.
Vancouver call timeout, then with 4:35 to go in the third, down by 8. So we'll have a quick look at the block here.
VTL, he's reading this. He's got his, he knows where his man is. He knows the area that it's going to get into, so he explodes onto this disc. Oof. He actually didn't even get that. That's what we call a phantom D, where he just puts his body, he's making the bid, and when you have a body flying by you for a split second, your concentration can lapse, and that's all it took there. But it's a nice bid.
Your life is filled with great stuff, and we know that protecting all of it with someone you can trust is very important. Geico has been a trusted insurer for over 75 years, and we have a local office in your area. So call us or come on in. We'll spend some time with you to make sure you have the right coverage to protect all your great stuff. Geico. Savings at your local office.
The Bay Area Disc Association is a nonprofit organization that fuels the local development of Ultimate Frisbee, with instruction for new players and dozens of high-quality leagues and tournaments that help make the Bay Area a hotbed for this great sport.
Bay Area Disc has dozens of programs.
So off the timeout, Vancouver back to work. A lot of work to do. Rasmussen comes out of nowhere. That's with the D. Loses his footing.
No call. He was anticipating a call. I think he got stalled. He's waiting for a foul call there.
And he wants his opponent to admit his guilt in this. Rasmussen gesticulating there at Wong. Rasmussen's not pleased.
No.
Still barking at Wong here.
Well, see if this fires up the entire team here. They feel like they've been wrong. That makes everybody a little more frustrated.
No breaks. No breaks. Okay, let's. Hey, fellow.
There's that lefty backhand. In that case, it was righty. I can't ever tell. He mixes me up. He's got those really weird pivot and release points.
How come?
That was a hand block.
I'll save that question for after the next goal.
Sure.
Another patient build-up, though, by Vancouver. And this is where they don't need to make a mistake. So many times they've had the disc in the attacking half and just have not been able to capitalize.
Someone's wide open. You can hear the field saying, so-and-so, you're poached. So someone's getting left alone there. Oh, boy, that's
going to be tough.
And
Sanchez comes down with it.
Doubly tough because number 4 there, Nickerman, he was uncovered.
Rasmussen can't make the catch.
Schlackett.
Swatted away. Schlackett, excuse me, not Rasmussen. Rasmussen's got the headband on.
And glasses.
That's right, while we have a moment. Are there many ambidextrous players that can use both hands effectively at this level?
The challenge, though, is that, as you've seen, when you catch the disc, you need to set a pivot foot. So right now, see how he's standing square? Now he's decided, now he needs to pivot onto that foot.
Right.
He needs to pivot. One foot is a set foot and one foot is a pivot foot. So when Hibbert gets the disc, it's a
huck downfield. Vassiev gives chase. Vassiev makes a catch.
Schlackett almost there.
Hibbert streaking downfield. Hibbert will make the catch for the goal. And after what seems like an eternity, Vancouver have their 4th goal of the half, and that is Hibbert's first.
So ambidextrous players, yes, there are a lot of people that can throw with both hands. I can throw with both hands, but I can't. I'm right hand dominant, and that's where my best throws are certainly with my right hand. You need to work for a long time. But the thing I was saying though is when you get the disc, as soon as you pivot, you've established which is your set foot and which is your pivot foot. And then if you can imagine, like if I'm right-handed and I step way out to my right foot, let's see this. This is a pretty easy. This is a Schlacken nearly gets this. He's in good position, just waves at it, misses it. And he does the right thing here. He sees Hibbard coming, and he's going to drop onto him to play defense on him, but Hibbard just gives a little shake and runs to the open side. So if we watch Hibbard the rest of this game, when you get it, what you'll see is sometimes it looks a little awkward because you have to reach all the way across your body. If you're releasing, say, a left-handed backhand with a right-handed pivot, I'm actually crossing the disc across my body with my left hand. It looks kind of weird.
But Morgan Hibbard's making it work.
He makes it work, yeah. He's not also the kind of guy who's going to be necessarily a... Oh, that's a nice throw. Let's see if he can get there.
Thompson,
nice.
And he's there for the goal.
Peterson to Thompson. Very nice.
Thompson second.
Hibbard's also not the kind of guy who's necessarily looking to throw a lot of goals. That's not his thing. He has nice break mark throws. He's a goal scorer. He's a D player. But he's not like a hucker, someone who's going to be throwing bombs. He's certainly capable of doing it, heaven knows. But I don't think that's really a big part of his game. Nice inside-out forehand from Peterson. And I like that shot because you can really see the angle that Peterson sees when he's throwing that. He throws that inside-out forehand to space, and that's going to bend to a spot where Thompson can run under it.
No Lucas Dahlman, no Greg Cohen,
no
Bo
problem.
Kittredge, no problem.
Yeah, wow.
Flamethrowers making it look easy. You've never been truly threatened since the midpoint of that first quarter of play. And they needed a game like this one today to keep pace with not only the Cascades, but also with the surprising Spiders as well.
Yep.
We still haven't broken that down yet, the game last night, Spiders and the Riptide.
Let's see what happens at this point here. Got a lot of open people here. Wow. Peterson stops the throw to an open
Bobby Ari.
Vasiliev,
right here.
Vasiliev. That's it. I'll say it 10 times and I'll get it. Ooh, Scuber. Ooh,
nice
crossfield
throw.
Forehand is going to float. That wasn't him. Nice throw.
And Ted Chu did the right thing then and just let it go because Braden G was running right behind him. Makes the catch.
It was going to be a really tough catch for Chu and an easy catch for Braden G.
Riptide trimmed the lead to 7 with under a minute remaining down in the third quarter of play.
So that San Jose game last night for the Riptide. I didn't get to see it, but we both saw. I talked to some folks that were there last night. I talked to the Vancouver's coach. So they played really fantastic defense in the first quarter. I think they only gave up 2 goals. This is going to be this. This is a nice crossfield pass. He says, "Oh, Chu lets that go." Good thing he did because G's open behind him. You need to make that decision pretty quick when that disc is coming over your head, and he made the right one there. But the game last night against Vancouver, against San Jose, Vancouver came out really defensively very, very well. They held them to. They took a 4-2 goal in the first. I think both teams kind of settled down from that point. It was 13-13 by the fourth, and they eventually would end up losing by 19-18. But apparently what happened was the Riptide scored the last 2 goals of the game, gave it back to San Jose with about a minute left, somewhere in that neck of the woods, and San Jose just sort of played possession ball, dinked and dunked it, and ran the clock out.
Cannon made a long run downfield here. Rasmussen.
Oof, wow. Oh, tries that. Attempts a forehand, or excuse me, a Scuber that just kind of dies.
Lindsley unable to make the catch there for San Francisco. And clock ticking down towards the end of the third quarter of play. Here is Lamb.
He's going to float over. He's got a little bit of time here. 5.
Cannon's going to have to hurry this up.
He can throw a hammer. He can throw whatever he wants in the end zone.
Cannon for the end zone.
Goal.
Making a catch is Schlacken. That's his 4th goal of the day.
And Nitikman's expression there after giving up that score kind of says it all for Vancouver. He just takes his hat off and looks tired. Very, very tired. Nice blade. Oh, nice catch. And he takes his hat off. Oh, dang it. It has been a rough couple of days for these guys. It's fun to travel. It's fun to hang out with your friends. And it's fun to play Ultimate. but it's tough when you just don't have anything left. You can try as hard as you want, but if the energy's not there, legs aren't there, it doesn't matter.
23-16 Flamethrowers, and after 3, back with the fourth quarter here in a moment's time.
It's 24-16.
We are back live here at Laney College as we're ready to start the fourth quarter of play here. Let's send it down to Joaquin Wallace with the owner of the San Francisco Flamethrowers, Peter Lincroft.
Go. 24-16 into the third quarter. San Francisco Flamethrowers up on the visiting Riptide. I'm here with the co-owner, Peter Lincroft. Peter, I'm sure you're excited about the way your team has played the first 3 quarters.
Yeah, we've been scoring really well and playing good D2.
Well, Peter is a co-owner of the San Francisco Flamethrowers. Peter, could you give us a little snapshot of the San Francisco Flamethrowers?
This is our 4th team in the league, 4th year in the league, and we moved over here to Laney College 3 years ago. Love our new venue here, and been growing every year. Attendance is up 25% this year, so fan base keeps growing, and we look forward to the future of Ultimate.
We spoke, Peter, about the growth of the Ultimate, and what do you see the future of this sport?
Well, when I see all the kids coming out to our games, playing on the sidelines, the youth is really what this sport is all about right now. We have great organizations like the Bay Area Disc Association running camps and recreational leagues for kids and adults as well. There's middle team and high school teams starting up all over the Bay Area. There's teams at almost every college now throughout the country. So really it's a youth movement that's going to build this sport for the future.
Do you anticipate seeing the league actually getting an opportunity for an Olympic spot?
Yeah, the USA Ultimate organization has been working with the Olympics, and we have been approved by the International Olympic Committee as a official international sport, played in enough countries now. So they're working on getting us into the Olympics with the mixed version of this sport.
Guys, the AUDL may be in the Olympics in the coming future. Back to you, Stephen.
Thank you, Joaquin. And I think it's as alluded to in the interview that it's just a matter of time before the game is played, is sanctioned by the North Coast section, by CIF, California Interscholastic Federation. Once this game starts taking off in high school, Matt, the sky is the limit from there.
Yeah, I think the knock on the game, or I think that when you see a game in person, it's a lot like hockey, where I'm not that big a hockey fan, but when I watch it, I don't really have a connection to it because I never played that much growing up. It's kind of hard to figure out what's going on. It's hard to watch the puck, stuff like that. But I know that when I've brought folks out to watch Ultimate in person, they're really shocked at the level of athleticism and also just the skill of the players involved. And I've said it, I'm going to continue to harp on it nonstop. Wow, it's a great youth sport. Man.
Kirkland to Thompson. It's as simple as that to start the fourth quarter. 15 seconds, and Thompson has the first goal of the day. But to complete your thought.
Oh, so I think that when you get this generation of kids that are now coming up, and they're growing up playing the sport, they're growing up watching the sport, I think it's going to be, I think we're 5, 6, 7 years away from the sport showing sort of explosive growth along the same lines that soccer has. Because it is such a great youth sport. It's just a fantastic. What kid doesn't love to throw a frisbee?
And not only that, but when the game gets accepted at the high school level as a viable sport for kids
like
to
an
play.
Official sport almost.
Yeah. For both boys and girls to play.
Mm-hmm.
That's when, for me, I think you'll see the
explosive growth. I think that the future of the sport, if it's going to be an Olympic event, I think that the thing that separates it is that it's a mixed sport. And I can't think of any other sport that is an Olympic sport outside of mixed tennis where men and women are competing together and they're going to be the best of the best. And the women that play Ultimate are incredible. That's, you see what the men do out here, and there's, it's amazing. When you see what the women do, you'll be equally amazed, if not more so.
And curling is one of the few sports I could think of that has
curling and mixed tennis.
Yeah.
Oh, nice throw. Great crossfield throw.
Riptide and Barbieri with a goal, and Barbieri continues his impressive performance with his 5th goal of the afternoon. A goal each for each team here in the 4th.
I don't want to besmirch, men's single gender ultimate, men's or women's. They're both, I love the sport, heaven knows. But I think if it's got an Olympic future, I think mixed is going to be the place that's going to separate it. They already play at the World Games. So there's already sort of a foundation built for it. This is off a very nice crossfield pass. There's Barbieri again.
Is the World Games separate from the World Track and Field Championship that they have the year before the Olympics?
I believe it is. The World Games is on every alternate 2 years from the Summer Olympics. And for a long time, I think that it was sports that hadn't made it to the Olympics yet, but were still widely played international sports, like rugby for a long time. That was where it was.
Yep.
It was always in the World Games.
Yep.
So to have Ultimate on that stage at all is definitely a really big step. But I believe they call it flying disc. I think that's what they call it.
That was not a flying disc thrown from Rasmussen there.
That was a dropping disc.
So a little
Hibbert. Oh, nice defense.
Boxed out nicely there. Rasmussen on Morgan Hibbert.
He read that. He saw Hibbert had his man beat up line, so he's just going to run in and just hold his position. Perfectly clean play. So that's going to float a little bit more than Hibbert would have liked. And Rasmussen just holds his position. Man, Canner with no one within 30 yards of him. Still no mark.
Just pick and choose.
The stall count hasn't started until you get within 10 feet. So he could hold that there for, 10 minutes if nobody else gets in there.
This is Rasmussen. Sanchez makes a cut downfield. Boy, Sanchez's energy level, his work rate is just outstanding.
Work rate, I like that. Very patient here. They don't really need to rush anything. So wait until you get exactly what you want. Wow.
Great throw. Canner's there.
Canner's another one of those guys with a motor. He just never quits. That's a great way to describe Sanchez. Motor. It's about his motor. That's how they describe NFL guys that just never quit.
Got a heck of an engine on him, as they would say. Canada's second goal. 9-goal lead here for the Flamethrowers.
Canner has to turn on the Jets a little bit here towards the end.
And he would be, you'd think, especially fresh, having not played against the Cascades.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's not fresh now. He's been playing at 77 degrees with a small group. But he's a guy who is like a defensive stalwart for Revolver. And really good D players need to have that motor. And he definitely has one.
So Vancouver now. Unrealistic to think that they can
nice roller.
Get back into this game being down by 9.
They know, I think everyone's, we're all going to recognize this game is over except for the shouting. So now it's a matter of, work on some things. Make the right throws. Make all the right decisions. Don't make any mental mistakes. Physical mistakes are going to come because people are tired and it's windy, but find the right person to throw to. Nice break. Oh, nice throw.
That's 2. Oh! And the commentators jinx there on Barbieri, who's been so sure-handed today. But when your best player on the team isn't immune to mistakes.
Or exhaustion, if you're really tired. When teams practice, there's a reason why you run throwing drills. Oh, boy. Wow, that is a giant backhand. Oh, my goodness.
Thompson is underneath it.
Kirkland just... Nice
and
catch.
what a snatch there by Vitiello. And it would have been disappointing for the Flamethrowers to not cap off that huge backhand downfield with a goal.
Huge backhand from Kirkland. That traveled from one goal line to within a yard of the other. The wind is definitely playing a factor here because it's quite windy, but still, that's a heck of a throw.
Helps having the wind at your back here.
It certainly does. This is a nice catch. We call this trailing edge. He's going to catch this at the kind of snatch it from the back there. He catches it from the back edge of the disc. That's a trailing edge catch.
So Vitiello has his second goal of the day, excuse me.
A double-digit lead.
As we've said, only one game in the history between these two teams has been decided by more than 4 goals. San Francisco beating Vancouver by this, or I should say the other way around, Vancouver beating San Francisco by this very same scoreline in the final game that these two played against each other back in the 2015 season, but it's been pretty close since then.
The Flamethrowers personnel has changed a lot since then.
Yeah.
And so has Vancouver's.
Vancouver 8-6 in their first year of existence, 4-10 in 2015. They were 6-8. They're expecting a turnaround this year, but it just hasn't happened for this Vancouver Riptide team. And you have to wonder now, Rubes, if you're the Riptide,
where do you go from here?
Yeah,
huh?
do you see another win on the books?
Ooh, nice throw. Oh my goodness gracious! So Vancouver's just dropped. They've just dropped 2 goals on 2 really nice throws. They're just gas.
They'll play the Growlers at home on the 3rd of June.
I think they could win that game probably.
But their remaining schedule is pretty rough. I mean, they play the Growlers, they play the Cascades twice, they play the Aviators at home, and they play
San
Francisco at home.
Ooh, big bomb to Davis.
That's gonna
fall a little short.
Morgan Hibbert there with the D, and now he has possession of the disc on the far side. Vasiev, nice snatch, left-handed. That's Greg Moore. Moore will still take that tumble earlier on at the end of the first half. Throw on the run,
Ooh,
and
there we go.
sliding is Alex Davis for the score.
Get 2 hands on it.
So Alex Davis trims the lead to 9. So 4 games around the AUDL today. As Chicago beat Detroit 22-12, and Dallas
nice sliding catch here. Very nice.
And Dallas, after suffering back-to-back losses for the first time in their existence, are back on track with a 26-18 victory over Atlanta. But that's South Division, though. It's going to be some struggle between Raleigh, Jacksonville, and Dallas.
Raleigh looks like the cream of the crop right now. I mean, Dallas dropped 2 games, and you never know if that could come and bite them late in the season, but Raleigh looks very, very, very good.
DC with a victory over Montreal yesterday. Minnesota remained unbeaten. They defeated Detroit. And Madison over Pittsburgh. Atlanta, over Austin. Raleigh over Jacksonville. And, of course, San Jose over Vancouver.
So Atlanta, looks like they did the Texas 2-step there, huh? They traveled to Austin, and then they traveled to Dallas.
Yeehaw, they did. Yeah, they did.
Davis totally isolated here.
Here is Davis, attracting the attention to Bobby Arey. Now out to Thompson.
Gavol working. It's a clear out. There we are. Now they're going to start working it back the other way. Someone's super open. There's a defender that's sort of just camped in the middle of the field, which means someone's wide open. There they are.
Easy as you like them for Sawyer Thompson. And his second goal of the 4th quarter, and he's having himself a game. He's got now 4 goals on the day.
Really? Wow. Big game from him. It's probably his best game as a Flamethrower so far. He's been definitely a cutter, a goal scorer from what we've seen so far this season, but biggest single output for him for sure.
Came in with 4 goals. Now has doubled his total to 8 with his 4 goals this afternoon. 1 in the 3rd quarter, and now 2 here in the 4th.
So when you see a defender, you can just do a little quick math here, right? If you see a defender who's not defending anybody, that's what the throwers see too. So as a thrower, you realize your person's on you, and then you see a defender standing somewhere, and immediately the wheels start turning. Where's the open guy? Where's the open guy? Where's the open guy? Where's the open guy? So that's what the throwers are thinking there. They find Thompson pretty easily.
Another short pull. Vasiev will pick this one up and over to the right side.
Well, forehand fake to get the marker moved.
Wong.
Yeah, they're definitely. We mentioned this earlier, but it looks like Flamethrowers defenders are just poaching the lane.
Nice throw.
Great inside-out throw. Wide open. Ooh. Nice. Oh, gosh.
And how many times has that happened?
That's been 3 drops out of the last 4 throws into the end zone.
But, I mean, they must have 5 or 6 today at least.
Woof. Spear uncorks a floater.
Galbraith is underneath it, as is Thompson, and Thompson gets it the second time of asking. Galbraith's body language is...
Thompson is tall. You can't really tell from the angles down here, but I was on the field earlier watching him warm up, and I sort of said to myself, who's that tall guy? He's 6'3" at least. So he's gonna box under. He's gonna just hold position. Oh, he went up super early there too. He was very open when he started that break deep, and that throw from Spear floats to make it a tougher catch than it needs to be.
Sawyer Thompson now, perhaps on the inside track of our Player of the Game award, now with 5 goals on the day. And he is having himself an afternoon.
Yes, sir.
And
one turnover. Through one turnover that I saw, but definitely making up for it on the other end.
The Flame, full of energy as always. A little Bunsen burner down there on the field. Even the Flame is feeling the heat a little bit here today, Ruth.
I'm sure he is. Ooh, wow. A little bobble on the pole there. Ooh, Peterson gets a look at that. I like how Hibbert fakes a forehand and nobody bites. Like, you're not throwing a forehand. You only throw backhands, Morgan Hibbert.
Yi-Min Lin, he's wearing 37. First time called his name today. Now it's Jordan Dillon. Oof. And that's going to die well shy of Alex Davis.
Well, they just pick it up and immediately come back the other way. There's Sanchez. Woo! Little pocket pass again. Canner to Schlackett. We've seen it a bunch of times today already. Foul on the mark.
Foul on the mark. 10-yard penalty.
Nice break.
Sanchez now over the top.
Well, that's going to work.
Giving
nice.
chases Peterson.
Wow.
Peterson, can he get there? He can.
Wow, great throw from Sanchez. Just a nice little touch forehand to space. And lets it sit up there long enough for Peterson to get it. That wind, though, is definitely playing tricks because Peterson he knows he's open. Sanchez knows he's open. And at the last second, the disc just dies. He has to actually make that catch a lot tougher than it should have been, than he thought it was going to be when that disc originally came off. So this is like easy money. Oh, I got this, I got this, I got this, I got this. And then, whoa, boy, there it goes. Man, that thing just dropped like a rock.
Peterson adds his name to the score sheet. Now the 11th different scorer for the Flamethrowers on the day. They've reached the 30-goal mark. And
so far, Vancouver has scored as many goals today as they did yesterday.
But they've conceded over their goals allowed average of 26 by some margin. And there's still plenty of time remaining in this one. Knechtel uncorks this one. Oh, unfortunate there. Nice bid by the Vancouver player.
Got a hand on it.
That was going to be Braden G. And a shoelace for Hagen.
He lost a shoelace?
Almost a blowout there.
He got flat-tired?
Yep, flat tire indeed. Man, he did.
Yeah, well, you need shoes to play Ultimate. And I guess if somebody steps on your foot, it's kind of a foul. Hagen's being berated by the stadium announcer.
They should have played the Jeopardy music
he needs
for
to
him.
Put
while
on,
he's down
he needs to double knot that thing.
Yes, sir. So well, we'll come back to that.
Yeah.
We're back after Hagen reties the shoelace.
Spear.
Davis makes a run
in a crowd.
And
but
Davis,
4 guys there. Hibbert has found some energy there. He ran very far down to make a play on that disc.
I saw Davis hold up, and I thought, is he just going to wait for everyone to make their move, and he's just going to rise above them all?
Well, I think that Hibbert actually had a better look at it, had a better read on it than Davis did.
Along the sideline is Fred Lamb. Now to Hibbert.
There's that weird. See that interesting how he has to really
Yep.
contort his body around. That's because he's got his right foot is set, his left foot is his pivot foot, but he threw that disc with his right hand. So it's weird. He contorts himself in these really interesting positions to be able to throw 2 backhands.
Here's G.
Ooh, nice little air bounce. Great air bounce backhand.
And over the top for the goal for Fred Lamb. So Bobby Arry, Davis, and Lamb with goals apiece now for the Riptide here in the 4th quarter.
Little scuba for a goal. So the throw that sets this up is I call an air bounce. And what an air bounce tends to do is it's a throw that rises. And you're going to see this is an inside-out air. It's an inside-out air bounce that goes to a spot, or outside an air bounce that gets around the thing, and then he just throws a little scuba for a goal. Easy one.
$11 goals, the lead for the Flamethrowers here with 4.5 minutes to go. Second game out of 4 on this longest homestand of the season. But for the Flamethrowers, after today, just 3 home games remaining.
Well, teams that are traveling to the Bay Area now got to feel pretty bad about their chances. Not only do they have to deal with the Spiders, who are rolling, but I think the Spiders do it a little bit more by committee, and it's really more of a You know, everybody kind of pitches in. It's much more of a stable team style of offense. The cast for the Flamethrowers has changed practically every game. I think they have more talent, more individual talent, but they may not have more team talent because they don't really get an opportunity to play as a team because it's this revolving door of people. So it's kind of a, you know, different teams are doing it different ways to find success. And any team that's coming to the Bay Area now to have to deal with these two teams back-to-back, it's rough, especially the second half of that back-to-back. It's almost like as a coach you need to start, you know, thinking hard about what you're going to do in that first game.
Justin Lim with the goal. That's his 4th. And after this replay, I'm going to ask you a serious question.
Okay,
Bruce.
hit me.
We've got guys like Mac Taylor, Bo Kittredge, you know, guys that have been in and out of the team this season. Are the Flamethrowers better off right now with the core of guys that are playing consistently week in and week out? It almost seems like at the beginning of the season that would have been,
I don't know.
a silly question to ask. But
I feel like those guys have all played together for so long. Bo Kittredge is another Revolver player, and Mac Taylor has played for Revolver in the past. So they're really familiar with one another as teammates. And that's the one thing why the Flamethrowers have had as much success as they had. Oof, wow.
Vancouver, luckily early, they got away with
That was kind of a little
sloppy
razzle-dazzle there, but it doesn't work out. So, but the Flamethrowers can get away with having this revolving cast of characters.
That's a great throw.
Nice throw. Is that Thompson again?
It is Thompson
Wow.
again. Thompson's now got his 4th goal of this 4th quarter, and I have a feeling Joaquin
We might
Wallace
be
is going to
talking
be
to him a little later.
having a chat with
Yeah.
Sawyer after this one. 4 goals for him now, 6 on the day. Thompson's having his best game of the season by far.
But what I was saying earlier is continuity-wise, they have this foundation of playing together for Revolver. So even if there's a couple of guys that are not, like I think Sawyer Thompson plays for the Polar Bears, which is another Bay Area mixed team. He's a good example of someone who VTLO has played for Gorilla in the past, which is the Bay Area second team. As long as you have a roster of 25 or 30 guys. If you have 20 of those guys play on the same club team, then you can mix and match parts a little bit more. It's going to be Kirkland winds up in easy goal.
But you're saying, in your opinion, the overall dynamic of the team
I don't think it's going to be that big a
much.
deal. No, I don't think it's going to be. I think the results are going to be very similar with or without those guys.
So as a follow-up to that question, then, if there are no Revolver tryouts last weekend, they beat the Cascades, yes?
I think so, yes.
Here come the Riptide. Here's
Whoa,
Hibbert.
had him. Hibbert had number 4. He had Nittickman. I cannot pronounce this person's name.
I know.
Nittickman?
Yeah.
Nittickman. How about Nittickman? There we are. Let's put the
timeout is called by Vancouver. Probably, if anything, just to give the guys a bit of a break here. Clock's off to 3:08, remaining 13-goal lead.
Nittickman. Okay, got it. Nittickman. Thank you. A little bit of help from the other side of the booth there.
There we go.
Nittickman.
We're all buddies up here in the booth. We shout out loud enough for Josh to hear who scored the goal.
That's right.
And he tells us
he
the
can help us
pronunciations.
when he hears us butchering these guys' names.
3:05 remaining then, and 3 home games remaining on the schedule. On the 4th of June, the Flamethrowers will welcome the Aviators of Los Angeles to town. And then on the 10th, the game we've all been waiting for, the rematch, the final matchup of the season between the Flamethrowers and the Spiders. And looking forward to that game. I mean, Justin Norton, Jackson Stearns been outstanding for the Spiders this season. And the Spiders feel like they had the opportunity to take the victory on opening day here. Early thoughts on who's going to come away with that win after this read. Park at the airport, know your car is safe, and there when you return, Douglas Parking, the best in local parking. And the cleanest score of the quarter, well, they're all the cleanest scores. It's brought to you by the
one coming up here, maybe.
most trusted source in clean, waxy sanitary supply. And, well,
darn it. I jinxed him again. Oh, Canner just comes out and yanks a forehand.
This is going to hang up and go out of play.
Oh, my gosh, completely out of bounds. He raises a hand. Yes.
You know, early ticket, you know.
Oh, early thoughts about, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think the Spiders win over the Flamethrowers in week 2. Oh, boy, floater.
Oh, great catch by Sanchez.
Sanchez just takes it away. Now, he doesn't run it out, so he sets a pivot foot in the end zone, which means he can throw from there.
Now Davis has it. Cannon makes a cut back inside. Gavala's open deep. As is Justin
Tanner.
Lim.
Oh, Hagen's open deep. Hagen's now open underneath.
Catch by
There goes
Hagen.
Lim. Davis open underneath now. Lim takes Davis's man
great
with him.
catch by Davis there on a wobbly throw.
Boy, Sanchez is just, man, dealing.
Catch for Justin Lim,
Lim,
another
yeah.
goal for him. So Lim is making a late bid here with his second goal. So he's now got 5. So Lim and Thompson here having career days for the Flamethrowers with 2 minutes to go in the fourth.
You can really start to see why both those guys ended up making that Revolver roster and why they made the Flamethrowers roster. Athletic, fast, know what they're doing, know what spaces to attack. Both of them are playing great.
So 3.
So thinking forward to that San Jose game, I'm sorry. So
Yeah,
the San
no,
Jose,
okay.
the first time that the San Jose's came here and got beat pretty soundly by the Flamethrowers. It's a pretty easy goal there for Lim. 2 hands for safety. Pretty easy. San Jose got beaten pretty soundly. When they won that game against the Flamethrowers the following weekend in San Jose, I don't think they're necessarily surprised, but that's the sort of win where a team that maybe has a little bit of doubt and is a little unsure about where they sort of stand in the pecking order, all of a sudden you see that confidence just rise and rise and rise with every single game. They're just getting more and more confident. So I don't think they're going to be the tiniest bit intimidated coming in here. Oh, nice bid.
Nice bid there by Davis.
And I think for San Francisco, it's going to honestly, it's going to depend upon who shows up, who's going to be here for that game. How important are they going to? How seriously are they going to take it? How seriously are a lot of the guys on this team going to take that game?
Because they've got a pretty serious test in June. Because they're at home here to LA, they're at home here to San Jose. The following week, they go on the road to Toronto. So this one is up for Thompson. Can't catch it. That would have been his 7th goal of the day, his 5th of the quarter. But it's a tough stretch of games. LA on the 4th, San Jose on the 10th, at Toronto on the 17th, and then back in the Bay a week later to play San Jose again. So they actually play him 4 times this season.
Yeah, and when the season was starting, I know that the San Jose players weren't thrilled about that.
Oh, what a bid. Great diving catch.
Oh.
And an injured player down for, is that Vitiello?
Yeah, it's UTL. I'm sure it's a cramp.
That's a sensational dive, though, and catch by
Great
Greg
catch.
Moore. Vitiello is in a prone position here. He looks to be in some pain. Some hefty collisions today.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, he just
I don't want
lands
to.
awkwardly.
I don't. Yeah.
Let's see if we can see one more time here. Yeah, lands awkwardly. Did he? We have to see it one more time. I don't know if he twisted his left or his right ankle as he went down.
I think he's breathing a little easier there, so that's good. But I'm always concerned about guys wrecking their knees with people flopping around like that. So.
Ooh, yeah, you can see it. As he steps with his right foot, his toes pivot.
Yeah.
Awkwardly.
I don't. As a sufferer of 2 torn ACLs, I don't really ever like to watch people get hurt. I think looks like hopefully it's his ankle. He seems to be able to bear some weight on his foot, so that's good. Okay, good.
So Vitiello really puts a damper on the proceedings, as this is a convincing victory for the Flamethrowers.
I mean, he's in good hands there with Malika Anderson, who's wearing the pink wig there, is a longtime trainer for the team, so can only hope for the best.
Clock will count down, but just under a minute remaining in this one. Vancouver will fall to 1-9, while the Flamethrowers will keep pace with the Spiders. At the top of the table is Moore with a late goal for the Riptide. So 4 different scores now for Vancouver here in the 4th period. But the Riptide will fall to 1-9, and 2018 can't come soon enough for Vancouver.
Yeah, and it must be tough when you're looking forward to the remainder of the season, too. So now the Riptide have got to start using this as a way to prepare for their Canadian national season and also their USA Ultimate season. Like, this is a good example. This is a good way to build up that foundation for Furious George or whatever teams are going to rise out of the Vancouver area.
And what's nice, though, for Vancouver to build on that, Rubes, is that they'll play 4 of their final 5 games at home, and they'll really not have to go far for their only other road game, which this season, which will be Seattle on the 30th of the month. So they'll play 4 games in June, and then they'll have another 3 weeks off before they host the Flamethrowers in the final game of the Riptide season on July 23rd.
No time left here. They're just going to kind of run this out. Don't need to take a shot in the end zone.
30 seconds.
Nice catch.
20 seconds.
By Sam Cannon.
The power dump. Takes it all the way down. Lose a lot of yardage, but you don't lose possession.
10 seconds.
Yeah, they're just going to work it around here.
So after a home loss to the Cascades, this homestand is right back on track for Coach Yo Kawaoka and the Flamethrowers as they take a convincing 33-20 victory over the Vancouver Riptide, as the Flamethrowers will improve to 5-2 overall. The Riptide will fall to 1-9. So achievement unlocked for Coach Kawaoka on the second game of the homestand, Matt, and they beat up pretty well on a tired Vancouver Riptide team.
Yeah, I mean, I think we talked a little bit about, but I didn't want to jinx it or make any bold predictions, but we talked about it before the game started, and it's really what you can expect from a team that's going to be tired and coming off of a emotional loss. They're going to come out pretty hard, and they're going to stick to it, and they're going to hang tough for maybe the first quarter heading into the second, and then you just run out of gas, and that's what we saw.
A great game for Justin Lim and for Joel Schlackett. 5 goals for Lim, 4 goals for Schlackett, but Joaquin Wallace is down with our player of the game. He scored 6 goals today. Sawyer Thompson, let's send it down to Joaquin.
Go. I'm here with Sawyer Thompson. Sawyer, you had a big game today and it's victorious for the Flamethrowers. Talk a little bit about your efforts today.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great game. We just came off of 2 pretty tough losses to the Seattle Cascades and San Jose Spiders. Really close games. We've been kind of struggling to put the pieces together, and I feel like today we finally did it. Our D-line was really clicking, getting some quick conversions for goals. So yeah, I'm really happy with how we did.
Today it looked like you guys really put an effort on defense. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I guess our kind of going into points, we just want to make the other team do something that they don't want. So we pretty early realized what the other team was trying to do, and we shut it down. And they have to go to their second and third options, and we were there getting blocks.
You guys played a team that played last night, as you mentioned. They looked kind of fatigued out there. Was that an advantage for you guys today?
Probably a little bit. I mean, we were tired too. We only had 15 guys today, plus a couple of injuries. So it was definitely, the fourth quarter we were just grinding it out. But yeah, it felt good.
Okay, we're going to talk to head coach Kawaoka. Coach Kawaoka, we spoke earlier today. You talked about finishing plays. That was the emphasis of today. Talk about finishing and playing defense. Grade your team's ability today in those 2 categories.
A on D, B plus on O. I think that we still had plays that we left out there, points we left out there. So that's the name of the game. In the end, you have to convert on O as well.
You guys now move into second place, 5-2, after losing that heartbreaker last week. So going into next week's game, where's your confidence level at?
It's pretty high. We have a couple of home games that we want to build on, and so we're looking forward to facing the teams next weekend.
You talked about a couple of more home games. This is the second of 4 in a row, so I'm sure it is important to make sure you control the home floor.
That's right. We're taking a big trip to Toronto as the 5th game of that series, so we want to have good momentum, have good chemistry, so that we're ready for that Toronto game.
Well, guys, Flamethrowers were victorious today with this win this afternoon against the Riptide. They moved to 5-2. Stephen, back to you.
Thank you, Joaquin. You heard it from Coach Kawaoka himself, an A grade on defense. Offense in his mind, Rubes, needs maybe just a little bit more work, but overall, he'll be impressed with his performance today of his team.
Yeah, there wasn't too many things that were, there weren't any dumb plays. I think that's, if you're a coach and you come away where you can at least recognize that players are making the right decisions, they're throwing to the right spots, you can let physical errors go. Obviously, you don't want them, but if there's anything that you can live with the physical errors. It's the mental errors that are very difficult to live with.
So the Flamethrowers then improved to 5-2. They're still a game and a half behind the league-leading Spiders as the second half of the homestand continues on the 4th of June as the Flamethrowers welcome the Los Angeles Aviators to town, and then the big rematch, the third of 4 games this season between the Flamethrowers and the Spiders, June 10th here at Laney College. We'll be bringing you both games here on the Bay Area Online Sports Network. For our entire crew, including our director, Jim Petramilli, and for our color announcer, Matt Ruby, and our sideline reporter, Joaquin Wallace. My name is Stephen Davies. Your final score, once again, San Francisco 33, Vancouver 20. We'll see you back on the 4th of June at 6. Actually, it's a Sunday broadcast, so it'll be another 1 p.m. start from Laney College in Oakland. Final score once again, San Francisco 33, Seattle 20. For all of us here at the Bay Area Online Sports Network, ciao for now.